Chapter 854. Right now, Fong Ping could not care about anything else. As he flew toward Hope City, he checked the ring that had just been opened by the cat. The moment the ring was opened, Fong Ping's wealth instantly increased by 800 million points. It was worth 8 trillion. Fong Ping did not know whether to be happy or disappointed. Was this all a true king powerhouse had? After all, when he got Feng Miesheng's storage ring, it had added 300 million wealth points to him. Is King Pine, that poor bastard, really that poor? Fong Ping was helpless, but he was still very curious about the things in the storage ring. Soon, Fong Ping used his mentality to explore it. The storage space was not small, at least 50 cubic meters. This was the biggest storage ring Fong Ping had ever seen. Among Ji Yao and the rest storage rings, Ji Yao's storage ring was the biggest, but it was only about 10 cubic meters. Fong Ping did not know about the other true kings. This was the first true king storage ring he had gotten. The storage ring has 50 cubic meters. According to the previous value, 1 cubic meter is worth 50 billion. This is not considering the difficulty of having a large space. This is already worth 5 trillion. In other words, King Pine's other things were actually worth more than 500 billion. However, Fong Ping was soon surprised. King Pine's storage ring was almost empty. He did not see any energy stones, energy liquids, or life essences. These things were what Fong Ping obtained the most wealth points from each time. This time, however, there was not a single thing. At the true king's level, energy recovery was not a problem. They did not need to use this. The storage ring was not small, but it was empty. It was not completely empty either. There were some crystal boxes floating in the space. There were not many. Fong Ping counted. There were 8 boxes in total. 8 boxes, worth more than 500 billion. Fong Ping was not disappointed now. The fewer the items, the better. The fewer the items, the higher the value. After all, the Sky Elm's holy fruit was only worth 1 trillion each. If that was the case, the items in these boxes would not be much worse than the holy fruit. It was not just 1 or 2, but a total of 8. What would a true king store? In Fong Ping's opinion, at the true king's level, ordinary treasures would not be interested. For example, he had pitifully few items in the space now. He would not carry anything because he had no use for it. Fong Ping wasted no time. He quickly took out the first crystal box and opened it. Wang Jinyang and the others were still deep in thought when they saw him opening the crystal box. This looks familiar. The moment Fong Ping opened the box, a wave of dense energy seeped out. Before his eyes, a peach-like fruit appeared. He did not recognize the others, but he had been to the Palace of 100 Kings and seen their treasure illustrations. After looking at the peach for a while, he suddenly said, "I remember now. I think it's the longevity peach." Longevity peach? Li Hansong asked curiously. What's it for? I feel like there's a lot of energy. It's not very useful. It's not very useful to us? Fong Ping smiled. This is also a holy fruit born by a true king monster plant. It's used to replenish vitality. Actually, it's an enhanced version of life essence. When vitality is greatly damaged, even a rank 9 can recover instantly. Of course, vitality was actually lifespan. However, be it humans or the catacombs powerhouses, they did not really care much about the issue of lifespan. Once one reached the golden body realm, living for 1,000 years wouldn't be a problem. But now, there were almost no 1,000-year golden bodies. Humans did not exist. If the catacombs had lived for 1,000 years or a golden body, they might have been beaten to death. As for those below rank 6, before the Sanjiao Gate was sealed, there was a limit to their lifespan. They could live for 1 or 200 years. But their life and death, not many people cared. If their cultivation was not up to par, then so be it if they died of old age. Humans did not have this kind of martial artist either, because after a few decades, almost all of them had died in battle. As for the catacombs, no one cared about the life and death of these martial artists below high ranks. Therefore, in this era, although there were powerhouses who pursued an unlimited lifespan, they had not reached this stage yet. The longevity peach's effect of replenishing vitality was not as important as healing injuries. This can be given to Dean Shun and the rest. Fong Ping smiled. This is the most suitable for powerhouses who cultivate infinite Tao. Their vitality depletes quickly. Even if they can use vitality to replenish the loss of vitality now, it's still extremely fast. If this peach is given to them, it's enough to replenish their consumption many times. One bite can probably last for a month. No wonder King Song kept this. Under the situation of energy isolation, even if a true king swallowed this peach, he could recover more than half of his strength. True kings could absorb void energy to replenish their consumption. The speed was so fast that it was unimaginable. However, once they entered the space battlefield, the energy was actually isolated. The more they fought, the weaker they became. King Song brought this thing with him to prevent this situation from happening. Unfortunately, he did not use it. He was directly hooked to death by the cat. Longevity peach. I hope it's not all this stuff. Fong Ping shook his head. It was not bad, but it was not suitable for him. Soon, Fong Ping continued to open the boxes. 8 boxes. This was only the first one. Pine cones? I think so. King Song really has this thing. Pine cones don't seem to strengthen mentality, but they are helpful for strengthening the body. It's an upgraded version of the golden body fruit. Pine cones again. King Song is a piece of trash. A true king actually brought 3 pine cones. Don't tell me his golden body is not as strong as mine? Fong Ping ridiculed. Weak. He was still using pine cones when he reached the true king realm. This fellow had entered the true king realm at most when he was at the early stage of rank 8 6th refinement. No wonder he was so weak. The value of pine cones is at most comparable to the maple fruit. Let's say 20 billion for one. 3 of them will be 600 billion. One longevity peach is slightly more expensive. Let's say 500 billion. That's it. This is 1 trillion. Fong Ping was suddenly not angry anymore. This was good news. 4 boxes were only slightly more than 1 trillion. That meant that the remaining 4 boxes were worth at least 4 trillion and above. If you have the guts, give me 3 more pine cones. Fong Ping continued to ridicule. If you give me 3 more, I'll consider you powerful. That meant that there were 4 boxes. One of them was worth close to 4 trillion. It was a few times more valuable than the holy fruit. This is Fong Ping opened the 5th box. Suddenly he frowned. After a while, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. Holy fruit. Heavenly Elm's holy fruit. F***CK. King Song actually has this? Holy fruit? As soon as he said that, the others became interested. Qin Fengqing was about to speak when Fong Ping glared at him and said, "You shut up." Qin Fengqing was helpless. "I haven't even said anything." Old Wang laughed and said, "Heavenly Elm's holy fruit. The one that improves mentality?" "That's right." Fong Ping laughed. "I didn't expect King Song to have it. Looks like he obtained it in the past. This guy kept it for himself. Under normal circumstances, he would give it to his descendants." Fong Ping continued, "This thing's effect is not bad. The weaker your mentality, the better. I've taken 3. If I take more, the effect will be average. My mentality is now more than 8,000 hertz. I'm afraid I can't reach 9,000 hertz, you guys." Fong Ping glanced at Old Wang. After some thought, he said, "Give it to Tai Tu. Tai Tu is now a golden body 2nd refinement. His mentality isn't strong enough. I'm afraid his mentality will be shackled when he reaches 3rd refinement." Wang Jinyang laughed. "You don't have to give it to me. I don't need it now." Li Hansong scratched his head and laughed dryly. "That? I won't stand on ceremony then." The holy fruit was extremely valuable. It was as high as 1 trillion. However, he really needed it now. He did not have mentality as strong as Old Yao. Although his physique was strong, his mentality could not improve. He would definitely stop when he reached rank 8 3rd refinement. Now, only by improving his mentality could he quickly advance to 4th refinement or even 5th refinement. Fong Ping did not say much. He continued looking. This, the 6th box. Fong Ping was surprised again. There seemed to be a crystal door in the box. Fong Ping looked at it for a while. Suddenly, a crystal door appeared in his hand. King Pine's crystal door. According to Tsang Mao, This was King Pine's Tao of origin. The aura was very similar. This is King Pine's descendant's Tao of origin? A rank 9's Tao of origin? Fong Ping's gaze changed instantly. Li Hansong quickly regained his composure. He said solemnly, "How ruthless! This fellow killed his descendant, didn't he? Using a method similar to Tsang Mao's, stripping away his descendant's Tao of origin. He wants to walk on a second path? A rank 9's Tao of origin could still be spied on. Old Wu had spied on the Rose City Lord before. Of course, that was after she died. With the true king's ability, there was still some hope of killing a descendant and seizing the other party's Tao of origin. This fellow's death is not to be regretted. I'm afraid it's his descendant. No wonder I've never heard of him having a strong descendant. Even the true king residence doesn't have any descendants. I'm a little curious now. What special method does Life King have to spy on others? And he's still alive? This point, Fong Ping could do it. Song Mao's divine peeking mirror seemed to be able to do it too. However, now that it was broken, he did not know if it would work. How did Life King do it? Without thinking further, Fong Ping glanced at the miniature version of the crystal door. He shook his head and said, "It's only useful for peak rank 8 martial artists as a reference. It can help people understand themselves and walk on their own path. King Pine is useless. He probably wants to walk on his own path first. Has this fellow walked 2,000 meters? He can't wait to kill his descendant and seize the other party's path. This thing was a one-time use. Fong Ping was too lazy to use it. He could look at it whenever he wanted. However, the others did not have this ability. It was indeed a great help to peak rank 8 powerhouses. Fong Ping kept it. Looking at it again, in MCMEU, only Lu Polu had hope of using it now. However, even though Lu Polu had improved rapidly until now, he was only at rank 8 third refinement. He was still a long way from peak. Chen Yaoting might be able to use it. Fong Ping thought of Chen Yaoting, the former number 1 rank 7 powerhouse. After achieving rank 8, he improved rapidly. Now he seemed to be at rank 8 fourth refinement. It had not been that long. Perhaps it would not be long before he could achieve rank 8 sixth refinement. He had stayed at peak rank 7 for many years. His mentality was very strong. It was not something that people like Fong Ping and Li Hansong, who advanced rapidly, could compare to. A rough estimate was that his mentality was probably no less than 5,000 hertz. Lu Polu was about the same. However, because old Lu was stuck at the stage of honing his skull, his mentality did not grow as fast as Chen Yaoting. This was probably the only advantage that these older martial artists had now. They had been stuck at a rank for many years. Due to the lack of resources, they could not advance quickly. Now that they had sufficient resources, their advancement speed was very fast. 1 trillion. The crystal door isn't worth much. Fong Ping's heart moved slightly. 6 boxes were only worth this much. Were the remaining 2 worth more than 3 trillion? When he opened the 7th box, a powerful wave of energy rose instantly. An energy cloud appeared in the void. What is this? Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. He looked at a human-shaped object in the box. Was it a ginseng fruit? He was stunned. Old Wong and the others were also stunned. Ginseng fruit? This thing that looked like a doll. It was not too much to call it a ginseng fruit, right? Li Hansong said hurriedly. You don't know? I've never seen it before. How would I know? Fong Ping was speechless. At this time, a wave of mentality suddenly fluctuated and spread rapidly. The cat's voice rang in his ears. Ah, what a familiar smell. It was also attracted by this wave of energy. Fong Ping was speechless. Did these top powerhouses all have this kind of hobby? The cat was not eavesdropping, was it? The cat really did not have this kind of hobby. It was too tired. It had no choice but to release its mentality. At this moment, the cat was a little anxious. Can you give it to me? This is delicious. After eating it, I'll sleep. I'll sleep very comfortably. Fong Ping said hurriedly. What is this? What's its use? This is a cat fruit. The cat's words almost made Fong Ping vomit blood. Don't tease me. This cat was very interested in food. It's really a cat fruit. I planted it before. Too bad the cat tree ran away. When I was asleep, it ran away. How annoying. Yes, the cat tree is not dead yet. This is what it grew. Humph. I'll catch it sooner or later. How dare it run away? I don't even have a cat fruit to eat when I wake up. The cat was angry again. This was really planted by it. It was specially planted to grow fruits to eat. In the end, it fell asleep and the other party ran away. It used to have a lot of good things and was too lazy to look for them. However, it was poor now. It had not eaten cat fruits for a long time and wanted to eat them now. Look, isn't the fruit it grew a small cat? It's not a human. After the cat said that, Fong Ping and the others looked at it hurriedly. Sure enough, it looked like a human at first glance, but now it really looked like a cat. A chubby cat. Cat tree. Fong Ping's expression suddenly became a little strange. He murmured, "Guardian of the royal court. I heard that there's a monster plant that became a true king." No, it's a veteran true king powerhouse. It has disappeared for a long time. It's said that 1,000 years ago, before Tianyu, it was the guardian of the sky plant royal court. Cat fruit, cat tree. Could it be the same tree? It had disappeared for a long time. 1,000 years ago, when Tianyu came, it disappeared. Fong Ping did not know if it was the same tree. As for where the Pine King's cat fruit came from, Fong Ping was also not sure. Maybe it had really appeared again, or was it left behind in the past? The cat did not care about this. In the void, a big cat's virtual image appeared, saying pitifully, "Give it to me. I really haven't eaten it for a long time." Can eating it increase my mentality? It can't. The cat's projection shook its head. It can't increase mentality, and it can't strengthen the flesh. Fong Ping was speechless. No way. Wouldn't that be useless? The cat fruit is used to stabilize the origin space. When I fall asleep, I play in the origin space. Sometimes when the space is about to collapse, I eat the cat fruit. When I wake up, it's fine. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. He coughed dryly. If that's the case, it can actually help with the recovery of origin path injuries? I think so. Is the origin space the origin path? No. The cat explained. It's the dark house in front of your origin path. Fong Ping understood. Stepping into rank 9, the dark void outside the path. So this was the origin space. The cat actually liked to play in here? Thief, can you stop asking me questions? The cat said bitterly. Give me the cat fruit. I want to eat it. Brother Cat, Fong Ping said with a solemn expression. This belongs to Brother Cat in the first place. It's only right that I give it to you. But Brother Cat also knows that in the previous battle, many human powerhouses suffered serious damage to their origin paths. They are still unconscious. If this cat fruit can save them, then whether it's the Emperor or the Netherworld Lord, including us, we will remember Brother Cat's kindness. Brother Cat is for eating. We need it to save lives. If Brother Cat is willing, I will give Brother Cat some cat food next time. The cat was a little regretful. It muttered, "Is that so? All right then, since the cat tree is still alive. Actually, I can eat it sooner or later." How annoying. It's still alive and doesn't continue to bear fruit. When I'm done training the puppy, I'll let the puppy catch it. The cat said this again and again, kicking the task to Jiao. It did not want to find it. It was too troublesome. Fong Ping, however, was tempted. Brother Cat, if we encounter this tree next time, is there any way to deal with it? The cat said happily, There is. Do you want to catch it for me? It's most afraid of the big dog. The big dog often wants it to bear fruit to eat. As long as you mention the big dog, it will be scared to death. Just mentioning it will make it tremble. You can conjure the big dog's appearance. It will be even more scared. As he said that, an incomparably huge golden dog appeared in the void. It was a real big dog. Fong Ping and the rest looked at it and suddenly felt their hearts stop. This was not a dog. This was obviously an emperor. The huge golden dog raised its head slightly, staring at the sky. Even if it was just a phantom, it gave off an extremely domineering feeling, as if it would break through the sky and break the sky in the next moment. The Emperor of Dogs. No, the Emperor of Demons. In the blink of an eye, the phantom disappeared. The cat said, "This is it. Scare the cat tree to death and let it sneak away." But the opponent is a true god. It's okay. This is the flaw of its origin path. It's afraid of the big dog. It's so afraid that when it walks on the origin path, it almost collapsed a few times when it saw the big dog. That tree was afraid of the sky hound to the core. It was so afraid that even if it walked on the origin path, it could not be erased, leaving a clear flaw. Of course, this matter was probably only known by the cat and the sky hound. Fong Ping's gaze was a little strange. I actually inadvertently discovered the flaw of an antique true king monster plant. This was a super big secret. If it was used well, it might be able to easily kill a true king monster plant. However, this was the cat's tree. Whether it was killed or not would depend on it. If he told old Zhang, he might still be able to get it back. Since the cat was here, Fong Ping quickly opened the last box. If it was something that he did not recognize, perhaps the cat would. As soon as the box was opened, the cat indeed recognized it. Looking at the black and swarthy stone in the box, he said quickly, "This is the heaven-breaking stone. In the past, when our fish hooks were broken, we used this to repair them. Some big fish are too strong. When they pull the hook and break it, we need to repair it." Fong Ping was tempted. This is used to forge a divine weapon? It can be used to forge a divine weapon like the fishing rod? It can't be. The fishing rod is... I forgot how to forge it. This can only be used to repair fish hooks. However, if you smear a little on the blade, it will be very sharp. It can stab a true god. Fong Ping was instantly tempted. It could hurt the peak. Damn, this treasure. Too bad it was too small. Fong Ping waited. Was it half a caddy? This could only be smeared on the blade. No, perhaps it could be used to forge a dagger. No, I want to forge it into a needle. Fong Ping suddenly thought of something. If this thing was forged into a needle and placed in the House of Gold, it might be of great use. Out of the 8 treasures, this was the only one that was useful to him. As for the others, Fong Ping felt that the cat fruit might be the most valuable. However, this heaven-breaking stone might not be cheap either. These 2 items looked like they were worth 3.4 trillion. They were not ordinary treasures. Seeing that Fong Ping had no intention of giving it the cat fruit, the cat felt a little regretful. It said no more, and the projection shattered in the blink of an eye. After its projection shattered, Fong Ping suddenly laughed. The cat is easy to talk to. It deserves to live for so long. It was the one who killed King Pine. The cat tree belonged to it. In the end, when Fong Ping took the fruit, it begged Fong Ping to give it to it pitifully. Fong Ping did not give it to it. It did not even have the intention to snatch it away. It just left. Just for this, when Fong Ping's strength increased in the future, could he ignore the cat in danger? Wang Jinyang also sighed. It's quite interesting and cute, although it doesn't fit its identity as a peak. However, it could live until now. Maybe this is also its way of life. A peak heaven cat that might have lived the longest and was still active in front of people did not die in a few big battles. This was probably not purely due to luck and strength. It said that its divine weapon had been borrowed by many people. Did the people who borrowed its divine weapon not care about their relationship at all? If the cat was willing to borrow it, those who were qualified to borrow from it must at least have the strength of a titled true god, right? When these people were alive, they were probably protecting this cat. It was the same now. Old Zhang borrowed its divine weapon. How could he not remember the favor? Fong Ping chuckled. This cat really knows how to invest. This is the real case of great wisdom appearing stupid. It has invested in a few of the most outstanding talents of this era. Yes, they can continue to live. Li Hansong glanced at him. Were you talking about old Zhang or yourself? I keep feeling like you're talking about yourself. Fong Ping laughed heartily. That's right. I'm talking about myself. What's wrong? Can I? Wait and see. Sooner or later, I'll surpass old Zhang and beat him up. The harvest this time was not bad. Not only did he have more than 800 million wealth points, he also got some good stuff. Let's go and collect the spoils, then go back to cultivate. This time, I want to take advantage of old Zhang's absence and lead the way. Fong Ping laughed. Combat techniques, weapons, cultivation, strength control. If he did all these well, his combat strength would increase greatly. When that time came, he could also become an invincible rank 9 for fun. Billions of wealth points were waiting for him to collect. It was better to get them into his pocket as soon as possible. P.S. The plot is over. The Magic City battle has come to an end. Brothers, don't talk about it anymore. There must be some foreshadowing from one plot to the next. These few chapters are actually foreshadowing and explaining the background. Chapter 855. Coming out of Hope City, Fong Ping took a look at his wealth again. He was indescribably satisfied. Wealth, 6. 820 billion points vitality. 121,000 calories. 126,800 calories mentality. 7,125 hertz. 8,099 hertz. Destruction power. 63 yuan. 63 yuan. Storage space. 10,000 cubic meters plus. Energy shield. 1 point/minute plus. Aura simulation. 10 points/minute plus. Origin detailed analysis. 10-100 million points/time. Getting rich in one battle. Fong Ping's heart was filled with endless emotions. This was still his wealth. There were also 5 mineral veins, all in one piece. Fong Ping did not ask for anything this time. He had gained a lot from the Magic City catacombs, but to save time, he did not care so much and only asked for 5 mineral veins. There were about 100 tons of rank 9 energy stones, 200,000 caddies. The value was exactly the same as his share, worth 60 trillion. Cultivation room. Fong Ping was not in a hurry to ask Qin Fengqing, nor was he in a hurry to discuss other things with Old Wang and the rest. At this time, Fong Ping finally had the mood to sort out his gains and martial arts path after obtaining his wealth. 100 tons of rank 9 energy stones. True King Origin Path Crystal Door. Rank 9 Origin Path Crystal Door. Cat Fruit Heaven-Shattering Stone. This was Fong Ping's current wealth. He had given the other holy fruits and whatnot to others. The holy fruit was given to Li Hansong. Fong Ping gave the 3 pine cones that enhanced his physique to Yao Qingjun. As for the vitality peaches, he gave them to Qin Jinhua and the rest. A rank 9 Chongdao, a pair of rank 9 combat boots, a set of rank 8 divine armor. This was Fong Ping's weapon. 2 peerless unique skills. This was combat techniques. Fong Ping suddenly realized that he really did not lack anything now. Combat techniques, weapons, resources. I have everything. The only thing I lack is experience. This is my only shackle now. It might not be easy to achieve Golden Body 8th refinement to 9th refinement. There might be other restrictions. At rank 9, one could actually forge a Golden Body, but it was very difficult. Old Zhang advanced from peak 7th refinement. At rank 9, he forged his Golden Body to peak 8th refinement before the peak. That was why Old Zhang's foundation was extremely strong, unlike the average True King. However, Old Zhang was still unable to reach the 9th refinement, and this was most likely not an issue with his spiritual power. I'm not in a hurry to reach the 9th refinement. I've only just reached the 8th refinement, so I can try to comprehend my own Tao. However, the stronger the foundation, the easier it will be to comprehend. Fong Ping did not panic at all when it came to Origin Tao. Over at Hope City, for Catacombs rank, 9 powerhouses were still imprisoned. Among them, there were 3 Origin Tao experts that he could observe. Let's take a look at the battle technique first. Let's see if it's of any help to me. Very quickly, 2 crystal books appeared in Fong Ping's hands. After reading for a while, Fong Ping set his eyes on the void-piercing technique. Li Zhen's book was read first. He felt that Old Zhang had left behind 2 absolute arts, and Li Zhen's was probably just for him to read. As for Old Zhang himself, it might be of some help to Fong Ping. Otherwise, there was no need for Zhang Tao to leave this for him. Void-piercing sword technique? I've heard a lot about you. Fong Ping chuckled. He had indeed heard of this lost art a long time ago, and it was indeed very powerful. Powerhouses like Li Chongqing and Li Daong, who had learned sword techniques, were all murderous and extremely powerful when they fought. Fong Ping calmed himself down. A paragon powerhouse could selflessly provide the lost art to everyone, especially when this paragon was still alive. Other than the few paragons of the neo-martial arts era, no other era's paragon powerhouses could do this. Top paragons like Zhang Tao and Li Jun could give their lost arts to others. This was something that the catacombs' true king could not do. Such a heavy, murderous aura. When Fong Ping started reading the lost art, his consciousness entered an empty space in the next moment. As soon as he entered, Fong Ping felt his consciousness being cut apart. Murderous aura, sword aura. In the empty space, sword aura was crisscrossing, extremely swift and fierce. Just as Fong Ping was thinking about how to learn the lost art, a phantom appeared in the next moment. Sword aura soar. Commander Li. Fong Ping was a little surprised. Then, realization dawned on him. This was a paragon's lost art. It was actually considered a mentality space. It was normal for a paragon to leave a projection of his consciousness in it. When martial arts powerhouses fight and kill, their overall strength depends on whether their foundation is solid, whether their experience is sufficient, whether their outburst is strong enough, whether their willpower is strong enough. The so-called difference in realms only provides a foundation. Experience lies in combat. Willpower lies in oneself. Only the strength of outburst lies in the lost art and the control of power. Combat techniques are a kind of recombination of energy. There are millions of martial artists. Everyone has a combat technique that is most compatible with them. The slightest difference can lead to a huge difference. My combat techniques are the most suitable for me. Perhaps I might not be able to unleash my full strength, but the void-piercing swordsmanship is the combat technique that can unleash my strength the most out of the millions of recombination methods that I've tried over the years. In the empty space, Li Jun's voice was deafening. Fong Ping did not speak. He knew that this was only a remnant of Li Jun's mentality. It was not a clone and did not possess self-awareness. At this moment, Fong Ping began to listen attentively. The strength of martial arts powerhouses depended on what Li Jun said. Combat techniques were very important, but they were just SOSO. It depended on whether one could find the one that was most compatible with oneself in the process of recombination of countless types of energy. My path is not the path of the sword. It's the path of killing. Li Jun's voice grew louder, his voice solemn. Stopping killing by killing is my path. Killing to achieve eternal peace. I don't care about the process. I only care about the result. The core of the void-piercing swordsmanship is to kill. The energy combination may not be suitable for everyone, but the sword must be used to kill the enemy. This is the power of willpower. Not only the sword, you can use sabers, spears, fists. What is void-piercing? Void-piercing is not void-piercing, but breaking the enemy's golden body's weak points. The sword breaks the void, cuts the golden body, and destroys the spirit. That is void-piercing. Martial arts powerhouses with a rank 8 golden body are known to be immortal. But why are there 9 refinements of the golden body? The human body is mysterious, and it is humanity's greatest treasure. The deeper the golden body is forged, the fewer the weak points. The lower the forging, the more the weak points. The eyes, throat, heart, genitals, are they all invincible golden bodies, immortal? Li Jun, who usually did not speak much, was now in class. Fong Ping did not know if Li Jun came to class specifically for him, or if all the ultimate arts were like this. At this time, however, Fong Ping still listened attentively. It was worth paying attention to a top powerhouse telling him these things. A golden body powerhouse was a manifestation of a martial artist's physical strength being developed to the extreme. At this stage, it was difficult for a martial artist to die. However, since the golden body was divided into 9 refinements, naturally there was a reason for them. Although a first refinement golden body powerhouse also had a golden body, the golden body was not dense enough, and there were gaps that were almost invisible to ordinary people. At this moment, the powerhouse's golden body collapsed. Why did it collapse? Because it was broken by energy breaking the golden body's defense. According to Li Jun, a true golden body powerhouse was invincible. I have a golden body. No matter how strong you are, no matter how powerful your attack, you can't break my golden body's defense. With a golden body, Your energy can't break it, can't invade inside. Even if you can't beat others, others can't kill you. This is a true golden body powerhouse. This is true immortality. However, this kind of existence only existed in theory. Since ancient times, no one had achieved this step. During the ancient martial era, the first-generation martial artists created the cultivation system, and the golden body was the limit. At that time, there was no such thing as the origin path. Beginner martial artists were all developing their bodies, developing their own potential. Li Jun was clearly explaining combat techniques, but he changed the topic and talked about the legendary ancient martial era. At that time, the first-generation martial artists were still exploring. They did not know about the origin path, and were all developing their bodies. The golden body forging was also the most common during that period. The origin path may not be the right path. The origin path is about borrowing power. Where does the borrowed power come from? Some people say that the source of the origin path borrowing power still comes from oneself, a kind of eruption of one's own potential. Unfortunately, we can't detect the source of this power. That's why we can only borrow power and not truly control the origin path. The first-generation martial artists persisted in developing themselves. Did they find the source of power and control this power? Did they really transform the origin path into their own use? Li Jun was still talking. Fong Ping said helplessly, "Commander Li, stop babbling. Just talk about combat techniques and how to reorganize power." "Shut up." Fong Ping was stunned. "You are alive?" Li Jun was still expressionless, but he continued, "Zhang Tao asked me to say these words. He guessed that you would interrupt. Now shut up." Fong Ping was dumbfounded. Was this a program? Enough. All of you. Continue listening. Li Jun's projection did not look at Fong Ping. He continued to talk, from the development of the body to the changes in the origin path. It seemed like he was not just teaching combat techniques, but also helping Fong Ping sort out his martial arts. Fong Ping understood now. Perhaps old Zhang's ultimate technique was the same. Both of them knew Fong Ping's flaws, and were now helping him sort out his entire martial arts system. Li Jun talked for a long time before he began to teach his origin path's ultimate technique officially. The void-piercing swordsmanship's energy recombination method. Fong Ping listened for a while and suddenly frowned. Ultimate technique. In the past, he was still wondering why ultimate techniques could enhance one's body. Now, he suddenly understood. Ultimate techniques could also borrow power. A martial artist's own energy was limited. The outburst was also limited. However, after the ultimate technique recombined energy, it could actually cause external energy to resonate, breaking the martial artist's own limits. Fong Ping was suddenly a little interested. According to Li Jun, if the power you mastered was compatible with the energy of heaven and earth, when you slash with your sword, the original 100,000 calories vitality, destructive power, might cause the nearby energy to resonate and join in to kill the enemy, causing the outburst to be even more powerful. This was an ultimate technique. Not only did it allow one to unleash their strongest power, but it could also attract some external energy to join in and make one stronger. Why were ultimate techniques related to origin path? This was also the reason. The ultimate technique was not only compatible with external energy, but also with one's origin path. The way it recombined energy could possibly cause the martial artist's origin path to resonate. Once the enemy mastered it and analyzed the ultimate technique's energy recombination method, they could possibly use the same recombination method during battle to induce the martial artist's origin path to lose control. I see. At this moment, Fong Ping really understood why martial artists cared so much about their own ultimate techniques. Especially origin path powerhouses, they really cared too much about their own ultimate techniques. They cared so much that they were in the catacombs that they almost did not teach it to their children. When the enemy was familiar with your energy recombination method and simulated it, it could actually cause the powerhouse's origin path to lose control. This was something Fong Ping did not expect. Moreover, if your energy recombination method was compatible with your origin path, then the enemy could also analyze the direction of your origin path. Everyone's origin path source was different. There were countless types of energy, In the origin space, it was actually possible to explore origin path through different origin paths' energy and trigger a resonance. What do you mean? When he heard Li Jun's words, Fong Ping suddenly realized something: how to walk on someone else's origin path. Mastering the other party's ultimate technique and knowing their energy recombination method, when one's consciousness entered the origin space, one could actually discover that origin path through the guidance and resonance of this energy. Fong Ping was shocked. If that's the case, origin path is actually not just a personal product. It exists in everyone's consciousness. When I master a person's ultimate technique and know their energy recombination method, then I can enter their origin path in the origin space. In an instant, Fong Ping sorted out a lot of things. How to walk on someone else's path. How to observe someone else's path. There was actually a way without relying on the system. Could it be that the system observes someone else's path like this? Actually, by simulating the other party's energy recombination method, then entering the other party's origin path? Fong Ping suddenly understood the system's principle. At this moment, Li Jun also began to teach him the energy recombination method. It was very complicated. It was so complicated that Fong Ping finally understood why it was necessary to impart the ultimate technique in this way. In the consciousness space, martial artists could speak more clearly and demonstrate more clearly. Li Jun divided his vitality energy into close to 300,000 portions. This was his basic strength. His basic vitality was as high as 300,000 cal. This was something Fong Ping did not expect. According to Old Zhang, if Li Jun walked on 2 paths now, the increment would probably be 7 times. If that was the case, after the origin path's increment, Li Jun's vitality strength had reached 800,000 cal? Or was it the absolute peak of 800,000 cal? Old Zhang had mentioned the titled true gods before. When the absolute peak of vitality reached 1 million cal, one would probably have the ability of a titled true god. If that was the case, Li Jun was actually not too far away from 1 million cal. According to Old Zhang, after the Life King's increment, it was only above 800,000 cal. It seemed to be less than 900,000 cal. Doesn't this mean that Li Jun's ability is actually similar to the Life King's? Li Jun is not as strong as the Life King, right? Or could it be that Old Zhang underestimated the Life King, and Commander Li actually did not reach the point of 7 times? Many thoughts surfaced in Fong Ping's mind. After the absolute peak of the increment, the weakest absolute peak had the absolute peak vitality strength of 400,000 cal. People like Li Jun were much stronger than the weakest absolute peak. After the absolute peak, the stronger the foundation, the higher the increment, and the more obvious the increase in ability. Li Jun's basic vitality is as high as 300,000 cal. Is it because of the high level of golden body forging? Fong Ping thought to himself, not delaying him from watching Li Jun's demonstration. 300,000 vitality units were recombined. Fong Ping could not imagine how many possibilities there were to recombine 300,000 units. There were countless possibilities, but he could not calculate them all. According to the arrangement and combination, even if only 10 different units were recombined without order, there would be millions of possibilities. And the combination of 11 units, according to the factorial method, would be tens of millions of possibilities. 300,000 vitality units were recombined. Fong Ping was dumbfounded. How many possibilities were there? He could not calculate them all. Previously, when Li Jun said that he had tried millions of arrangements, Fong Ping thought he was bragging. Now he was not bragging. Fong Ping even thought that it was too little. There were so many methods, but Li Jun had only tried millions of energy combinations. The void-piercing swordsmanship might not be the combat technique that suited him the best. Is this how powerhouses create their own ultimate arts? This is not talent. This is hard work. Fong Ping smiled bitterly. Finding the most suitable one among the countless possibilities was not even as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. If he wanted to create his own ultimate art, would he not have to try countless times? He might not be able to find the most suitable one in his lifetime. No wonder every powerhouse values their own ultimate art so much. So that's how it is. Moreover, the stronger one is, the harder it is to find the most suitable one. 1,000 cal vitality. If the degree of disassembly is not high and it is split into 10 parts, it will be much easier to find. Fong Ping also realized that Li Jun might not be able to disassemble his strength into 300,000 parts in reality. However, in the willpower space, he could do it. Fong Ping looked for a while and suddenly laughed. I can probably disassemble it into 3 cal per unit, 100,000 parts, but not to the extent of 1 cal per unit. Li Jun was very prideful. He purposely made it seem like he had disassembled it into 300,000 parts, but Fong Ping realized that most of them were composed of 3 cal vitality as a whole unit. Still, 3 cal was very strong. At Li Jun's level, to be able to disassemble it to this extent, his strength control was definitely not lower than 70%. As for Li Jun, it had not been many years since he advanced to the absolute peak, and he was still growing stronger. With a vitality strength of 810,000 calories, 70% control, he could unleash a vitality strength of about 570,000 calories, which was equivalent to more than 1,000,000 cal under the absolute peak. If the ultimate art had an amplification, then it would be even stronger. With this conversion, Fong Ping realized that if Li Jun fought a rank 9, he could probably kill one with one punch. Qi Huanyu might not be an exception. Li Jun was still reassembling his strength. To demonstrate to Fong Ping, he reassembled it very slowly. Fong Ping watched carefully. Only martial artists had sharp ears and eyes, strong mentality, and strong memory. Otherwise, he would not be able to tell who was who just by looking at these hundreds of thousands of strength units. In this case, there was no need to talk about the strength combination. The final result of every vitality unit's recombination is different. If the combination is wrong, it might even cause the collapse of one's own strength. That's why combat techniques are divided into strong and weak. For me, once I use the void-piercing swordsmanship, there will be an increase of about 5% on the original strength. As for ordinary martial artists, if they don't have their own ultimate art and learn from others, they can unleash 70% of their own strength. This means that the compatibility is already extremely high. Fong Ping listened with great interest in the willpower space. He also watched with great interest. He even began to try to combine his own strength. Learn from Li Jun. Even if the powerhouse's strength combination was not compatible with martial artists, he could still learn something from it. Fong Ping tried to follow Li Jun's method. His vitality was not as strong as Li Jun's, a little more than 120,000 calories. The current Fong Ping could only disassemble it into 5 calories units, a little more than 20,000 vitality units. According to Li Jun's combination method, Fong Ping performed the recombination with a ratio of 5:1. Li Jun disassembled it into about 100,000 units. Fong Ping only needed to reduce his vitality units by 5 times and then recombine them. Energy recombination was very difficult. An ultimate art could not be learned just by watching it once. Fong Ping kept learning in the willpower space, but his strength kept collapsing. He still needed to try to change some of the arrangements to make it more suitable for him. Fong Ping felt that he did not learn for long. Outside, McMao, Li Hansong came out of closed-door cultivation again. He lamented, "It's been half a month. This guy has been in closed-door cultivation for the longest time, right? A whole half a month." Fong Ping was immersed in the pleasure of energy recombination and could not extricate himself. He also began to try to recombine his strength. The countless arrangements made Fong Ping a little addicted. The ultimate art seemed to have opened a window for Fong Ping. For the first time, he did not think about anything and was immersed in cultivation. The powerhouses were in closed-door cultivation. The Fong Ping in the past might not know why they were in closed-door cultivation for so long. Some people in closed-door cultivation would take decades or even centuries. If Fong Ping came out of closed-door cultivation at this time, he would probably understand. Wang Jinyang had returned to Nanjiang and rushed over again. He nodded when he heard that. It's indeed long. This guy has no intention of coming out of closed-door cultivation at all. If this goes on, he won't be in closed-door cultivation until the big war, right? They looked at each other, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Everyone was surprised by Fong Ping's speed in closed-door cultivation and coming out of closed-door cultivation. Now that he was immersed in it for half a month, everyone felt that it would be troublesome if he did not come out soon. Do we need to call him out? Li Hansong was hesitant. For people like them, long-term closed-door cultivation was not a good thing. It was necessary to tidy up the martial arts path and sort it out appropriately. However, it was not long before the all-out war. Fong Ping had not come out of closed-door cultivation. Everyone was worried that he would really sink into it and could not extricate himself. Before the end of the month, Wang Jinyang thought for a while and said, if he still hasn't come out of closed-door cultivation by the end of the month, then think of a way to get him out. When he comes out this time, I think his strength will improve greatly. We all have to work hard. Fong Ping's talent was not bad. Even if he had unlimited resources, to be able to cultivate to this stage in a short time was also a sign of talent and intelligence. If he immersed himself in it for so long, the gains would not be small. It's almost the new year, Li Hansong suddenly said, a little emotional. He then smiled and said, even if he comes out of closed-door cultivation, he probably won't do anything before the new year. It seems like we haven't been home for a long time. Let's all go back for the new year. Fong Ping's coming out of closed-door cultivation would probably be at the end of the year. This year, they did not seem to have relaxed for more than a few days. Fong Ping probably would not go out at this time. It's almost the new year? Wang Jinyang was also a little absent-minded. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. At this time last year, Fong Ping was almost killed by the evil sect martial artists. At that time, he only had rank 5 strength. In the blink of an eye, he had rank 9 combat strength. We'll talk about it when he comes out. Is Qin Fengqing still around? Yes, he's still preparing recently. It seems like he's going on a long journey. He won't say anything even when we asked. I don't know how he came into contact with the other party. Let's ask Fong Ping when he comes out of closed-door cultivation. Wang Jinyang heard that and smiled. He nodded and said nothing. Qin Fengqing ignored them. However, if Fong Ping asked, that guy would probably tell him. Everyone was still curious about how he came into contact with that old antique. Thinking of this, Wang Jinyang suddenly looked at a figure outside the cultivation room. He raised his eyebrows slightly and chuckled. Chun Yunxi is almost at rank 7, right? Soon. Li Hansong nodded and chuckled. How's that child bride of yours now? Wang Jinyang's face darkened instantly. He glared at him. Don't think that you're so great just because you have the divine armor now. If you piss me off, I'll still hammer you to death. As the two of them talked and laughed, in the next moment, a wave of energy suddenly dispersed. The cultivation room suddenly trembled. A loud laugh was heard. Fong Ping had come out of closed-door cultivation. 9 Heavens Divine Emperor. Chapter 856. Dean Li, do you dare to fight me? The moment Fong Ping exited closed-door cultivation, a loud roar reverberated through the clouds. In the next moment, Li Chongqing rose into the air and chuckled. You've become arrogant? Huh. Today, I want to take the first place in rank 8. Teacher, the catacombs or the sea? It's on the sea. Old man Li was straightforward. Mother Asterisk Kerr. This brat actually challenged him as soon as he came out of seclusion. On the other side, Fong Ping was grinning from ear to ear. His initial goals had been surpassed one by one, yet Old Man Li was still standing strong, persevering until now. Now he was still occupying the first place in rank 8, refusing to budge. If he gave him a good beating, the first place would be his, right? Thinking about him, Fong Ping, ever since he ascended to the top as a rank 3, when was he not first and invincible? Now that the old man was occupying the first place, what was the meaning of this? The smell of gunpowder was thick between the two of them. In the next second, the two of them broke through the air and headed straight for the Southern District's ocean. This was the first time Fong Ping challenged Li Chongqing, an invincible powerhouse of the same rank in 3 years. Everyone was saying that Li Chongqing was invincible among his peers. No one said that Fong Ping was invincible among those of the same rank. Even if he appeared to be invincible, no one said that this fellow had too many messy tricks up his sleeves and was impure. The two of them were extremely fast, heading straight for the sea. At the same time, within the school, silhouettes emerged one after another. All of MCMU's high-rank powerhouses had come out. Wu Quishan had already left. Li Changxing was MCMU's #1 powerhouse. Even if Guo Shengquan and the other two had stepped into the origin path, they were still far from his level. As for Fang Ping, he had also defeated the origin path in the previous battle in the catacombs. Between Fang Ping and Guo Shengquan's group, everyone had a rough idea of who was stronger. Now, after Wu Quishan's departure, MCMU's two strongest powerhouses were about to fight to determine the first and second rank 8. Everyone was overflowing with interest. Between the two of them, who was truly invincible among his peers? Lu Fengru, Tang Feng, Lu Palu, these people were all extremely fast. Many of them had looks of anticipation on their faces. They wanted to get rid of Li Changxing. It was a disgrace for a person to be surpassed. It would be much better if there were only two of them. When everyone at the same level had been surpassed, and there was still a mutant that had not been surpassed, it was not good. Old man Li was an anomaly. He was considered a late bloomer. Everyone had seen Fang Ping's rapid advancement, but very few people were surprised by Li Changxing. It was as if they thought it was only natural. However, he had forgotten that when the Nanjiang catacombs opened, Li Changxing was only a rank 6. Today, killing a rank 9 was like slaughtering a dog. He had killed more rank 9s than Fang Ping, but no one seemed to care about this. Come to think of it, Li Changxing was the real monster. At the age of 60, he burst out with a second spring, surpassing all his peers in the blink of an eye. At this moment, it was not just the high-rank powerhouses. Suddenly, a dense crowd of people appeared in the sky. There were powerhouses in the flight stance. A large number of them were middle-rank powerhouses. Let's go and watch the battles. At the front of the crowd, Zhang Yu shouted excitedly. Let's go watch the battle. MCMU's own people were fighting for first and second place. They were the most powerful group of people in this era. This was MCMU's glory. No matter who won or lost, it was the same. In the crowd, Fang Yuan was swaying. She watched the others fly extremely fast while she was slow. She was so anxious that she was sweating profusely. Sister Yunxi, pull me, pull me. She was rank 4. During the days when Fang Ping was in closed-door cultivation, she had finished the Martial Arts University Championship. Although she was abused dozens of times, she had finally broken through in the end. During the finals, she had completed the state of collective fist force, built 2 heavens and earth, and stepped into rank 4. However, she had just entered rank 4. At this moment, Fang Yuan had used the flight stance several times and almost fell. She was so anxious that she was about to cry. Big Brother had come out of closed-door cultivation. As soon as he came out of closed-door cultivation, he challenged the longevity sword that killed rank 9s like dogs. She also wanted to watch the battle, but with her speed, it would probably be over by flying there. The most important thing was the sea. She would probably fall into the sea when she was halfway there. In front, Qin Yunxi could not help but laugh. With a wave of her hand, she grabbed Fang Yuan and soared into the sky. At the Mentality Vitality Unity realm, her speed was not much slower than the average rank 7. In the blink of an eye, thousands of people flew toward the depths of the sea. In an instant, the entire Magic City heard the news and moved. MCMAU is going to war again? At this moment, MCMU was indeed discussing it. The word again was said very naturally, as if they were used to it. Nowadays, ordinary people also knew about the existence of the catacombs. They also knew that martial artists were fighting in the foreign land, risking their lives. However, among them, MCMU was the most eye-catching. They had fought frequently. Just this year alone, they knew that MCMU had a few large-scale battles. The Battle of Skygate, the last Magic City battle, this time the Fixed Catacombs battle. MCMU often sent thousands of people to battle. Very soon, news came. Someone used the flight stance and shouted, Devil King Fang Ping is fighting longevity, Sword Li Changxing for the first place in rank 8. Big news! Golden Body powerhouses are fighting. Everyone, MCMAU instructors and students are going to watch the battle. Go quickly. A top-notch golden body duel is too rare. Hurry! In the city, some powerhouses shouted one after another. They were calling friends. These were not ordinary powerhouses. Both of them had leapfrogged ranks and defeated rank 9 powerhouses when they were rank 8. This kind of battle between invincible powerhouses of the same rank, and also in the form of a duel, was more worthy of everyone watching and learning. Moreover, the so-called invincible in the same rank, naturally there could only be one person at a time. Now, Fang Ping and Li Changsheng were both known to be invincible in the same rank. So, who was the real invincible? Everyone was interested. They also wanted to know whether the older generation powerhouse Li Changsheng was stronger or the new generation powerhouse Fang Ping was stronger. In the blink of an eye, in Magic City, there were also many middle-ranked martial artists who used the flight stance. Some low-ranked martial artists watched with envy. Ordinary people were even more envious. This was a true immortal. This was only the middle ranks. It was said that those high-ranked martial artists could destroy heaven and earth. On Earth, they were still somewhat restrained. In the catacombs, they had destroyed countless giant cities and even broken space. This was unimaginable to ordinary people. What was the concept of space? They did not know. They only knew that martial arts powerhouses could break the void. This was a myth. In the sky above the city, someone carried a camera and could not wait, shouting, "Hurry, hurry! Any later, and we won't be able to film it." Lu Dali, who had not seen him for a long time, called his companions to hurry and film. A battle between rank 8 golden body powerhouses. In the past, he had filmed it before. However, he did not know much at that time. He was foolish and daring, secretly filming for a while across a mountain. At that time, most people did not know what rank 8 meant. Now everyone understood. Rank 8 golden body, immortal and indestructible. Fang Ping and Li Changsheng were also the top-notch kind. It was said that they had killed countless strong enemies in the catacombs. Of course, such a battle between top-notch powerhouses had to be filmed. One by one, martial artists rushed to the sea. Middle-ranked martial artists were not fast. Flight stance was slow too. When they were still moving, Fang Ping, an old man, Li had already flight stance hundreds of miles away from Magic City. On the boundless sea, Fang Ping chuckled. "Instructor, although you are old, you are still my elder. However, martial arts must fight. Invincible in the same rank, I will definitely get it. A toad is yawning." Old man Li stood in the air. His long hair fluttered, his hands behind his back. He smiled faintly. "Fang Ping, if you can defeat this old man, then you are really something. But do you have the ability?" "Of course I do." Fang Ping laughed heartily. "Instructor and I are both at rank 8 8th level. Instructor is walking the path of unification. Theoretically, this is not a fair fight. However, I can recover my imperishable substance. If I use it to fight, then it is fair. I won't bully you, instructor. Although I have repaired the golden house, I will not use it to bully you." Old man Li sneered. "You can try. This old man will pierce it with a sword. Let's see how arrogant you can be." "Pierce it with a sword?" Fang Ping sighed. "Then, won't my 100,000 yuan of imperishable substance be wasted?" The corner of old man Li's mouth twitched. "How much? 100,000 yuan?" Motherf asterisk her, this kid's words made people feel hopeless. How much imperishable substance did a rank 8 martial artist have? This kid did not waste so much in the past. Opposite him, Fang Ping smiled brightly. Rich and willful. It was only 100,000 yuan, only 1 billion points. What was this? If old man Li could break it with a sword, then he was good. "Don't worry, instructor. I won't use the golden house to bully you." "Humph!" Old man Li snorted softly, pretending to be calm. "So what if it's the golden house? Even if you use it, so what? You are not my opponent in close combat. It was just trapping the enemy. So what if he was trapped?" This old man was invincible in close combat. Fang Ping laughed. He cracked his neck, took a deep breath, and said, "Instructor, do you have a combat armor? If you don't blame me for not reminding you when you embarrass yourself later. I have one." I won't beat you until you run around naked. Old man Lee's eyebrows twitched, cursing in his heart. Where did he get a combat armor? Would it really turn out like this later? This kid's tone indicated that he was going to fight him to the end. He was full of confidence. As the two of them spoke, a large group of powerhouses arrived from behind. Lou Fingers shouted from afar. Why do you two have so much nonsense to say? We are here. Hurry up and start. The two of them were dawdling. Were they not waiting for someone to come? Now that they were here, why not start? Fong Ping smiled and said, Instructor, there is no hurry. My spar with Instructor Li belongs to the pinnacle battle below, the pinnacle of humanity. It is necessary for everyone to watch. As MCMU's Vice-Chancellor, this is also my duty. Everyone was speechless. What a big tone. This kid Fong Ping's tone had changed after half a month of closed-door cultivation. It seemed like he had gained a lot this time. As they spoke, some rank 6 martial artists who were faster had also arrived. Do we need to clear the area? Lu Polu asked with a smile. Fong Ping smiled and said, There is no need. Clearing the area was when powerhouses could not control the overflow of the residual force. As for him, that could definitely be done. It was a spar with Old Man Lee. Moreover, there were so many powerhouses watching. A little residual force could be blocked. There were more and more people. Old Man Lee's long hair fluttered in the wind. His hands were behind his back, looking very dashing. Fong Ping was also holding his saber with both hands. His combat boots were shiny. He was full of energy. Both of them had not made a move yet. Their auras were drawn. The sea was turbulent, wave after wave. Some middle-rank martial artists who had just arrived were almost all rank 6. At this moment, everyone's expression was solemn. So strong. Next to Fong Ping and Old Man Lee, black cracks appeared. On Earth, the Earth space was not as stable as the catacombs. However, that would require a 100,000 calories vitality outburst. This meant that both of them were actually already in a battle of auras. The area between them had also been hit, creating streaks of black cracks. Among the crowd, Guosheng Quan sighed suddenly. Strong. We are inferior. Purely from the clash of auras, he had dealt a 100,000 calories vitality damage. Even if he had entered Origin Path, his vitality was currently at 120,000 calories. One stage out of Origin Path, the increase was close to 0. 1 times. His theoretical outburst strength was more than 130,000 calories. However, that was only in theory. A rank 9 powerhouse's control was generally only 70%. In other words, even on Earth, if he did not wear a divine weapon, he could not actually create a space rift. If he used a divine weapon, there was still hope. A long time ago, when Li Chongqing killed the Yang family's Yang, he with a sword, he had slashed a space rift. This was the longevity sword. Guosheng Quan lamented. Elvijin also said with a look of agreement, That's why I've decided. I'll still do research. I won't fight with these martial artists. After coming out from the bounded zone this time, he had been dealt a heavy blow. Previously, when he participated in the battle, he was just a bystander, and he was almost killed. Now, these two fellows' auras were overflowing, and he actually felt like he could not stand it. I'm a rank 9 after all. This is too sad. Who will win? At this time, Li Hansong also looked interested. Fong Ping had arranged a battle with Old Man Li as soon as he came out of closed-door cultivation. He was full of confidence, and it seemed like he had a chance of winning. Wang Jinyang pondered, saying, Fong Ping probably has some confidence, but I think it's uncertain. Instructor Li's vitality is more than 120,000 calories. According to 240,000 calories, with the enhancement of the ultimate technique, at least 5%, that would be more than 250,000. Also, if Instructor Li uses the longevity sword, his combat strength will be even stronger, at least 260,000 calories. As for his strength control, I see that Instructor Li has been familiarizing himself with his strength recently. I'm afraid it won't be low, at least 70%. No matter how you calculate it, his strongest outburst will not be lower than 180,000 calories. The battle between Fong Ping and Instructor Li, it's uncertain. Li Hansong chuckled. It's hard to say. Don't forget Instructor Li's title. One-sword hero. This is not a battle of life and death. In a battle of life and death, Instructor Li's sword would either kill or cripple the opponent. However, this is a battle to learn from each other. Can he really kill Fong Ping with one sword? If he doesn't kill Fong Ping with one sword, haha, that'll be fun. Wang Jinyang sneered. Fong Ping might not recover. You already said it's a battle. If he really does that, even if he wins, it'll be hard to believe. That's true. As he said that, Li Hansong suddenly sighed. He can already fight with Instructor Li. He's improving too fast. Old Wang, we've really been left behind. About the reversal of the origin path, do you think it's reliable? We'll talk about it when the time comes. As the two of them spoke, a thunderous roar sounded in front of them. The waves were monstrous. Bang! Fong Ping and Old Man Li exchanged blows. In the instant they exchanged blows, both of them did not use divine weapons or ultimate techniques. It was just a simple exchange of punches and kicks. Fong Ping wielded his saber with one hand. His right hand pierced through space directly, as if he had teleported. His palm slapped on Old Man Li's fist. Old Man Li was also calm and relaxed. His footsteps cracked the void, and a punch blasted out. Cracks appeared near his fist and palm. Just this? Old Man Li shook his head. This isn't enough. Instructor, why are you in such a hurry? I'm just trying my hand. Fong Ping chuckled and kicked sideways. Old Man Li did not seem to mind, blocking with his arm. Rumble! Another thunderous sound was heard. The golden bodies collided. The bodies of the two top-notch golden body powerhouses were incomparably tough. The moment they collided, cracks cut both of them again. Black space cracks appeared again and again where the two of them exchanged blows. Fong Ping was still fine, but Old Man Li's clothes were cut off in the blink of an eye. From the robe earlier, it had become the short robe now. Fong Ping chuckled. Instructor, it's better if you wear the short robe. The long robe is a hindrance. You talk too much nonsense. Old Man Li let out a humph. With a low growl, he suddenly punched and kicked at the same time. He fought close to Fong Ping, his speed as fast as lightning. The longevity sword was not just for a swordsman. If I make a move, everything can be a sword. Without a sword in hand, the sword aura still soared to the sky. In the sky, a white cloud was obliterated by the sword aura in the blink of an eye. Rain fell. Before it could fall, it disappeared completely, evaporated by vitality. Both of them exchanged blows. The aftermath was not too strong. The waves beneath their feet rose and fell, but there was no tsunami. The aftermath was not strong. Compared to the fight with the evil sect powerhouses last time, they did not seem to be serious. However, the onlookers looked solemn. Both of them did not use any external objects. Right now, they were only fighting with their physiques. They were using basic fist techniques and basic leg techniques. The aftermath was not strong, but both of them were almost engulfed by the black space cracks. The space cracks were extremely destructive. Of course, different places had different destructive powers. Earth's side was slightly weaker. Even so, if a normal rank 9 was touched, their limbs would be cut into pieces. However, for these two people, their golden bodies were being cut with a crunching sound. It was extremely ear-piercing. However, only streaks of blood were left. Rank 8 refinements. Many of them were shocked and sighed. Was this rank 8 refinements? An existence with vitality exceeding 120,000 calories? Many rank 9 if they did not go too far on the origin path and did not continue to hone their physiques. They might not even have 120,000 calories vitality. The weaker rank 9 only had 100,000 calories. In reality, both of their vitality were already close to 130,000 calories. Right now, both of them were exchanging punches and kicks. It seemed easy, but in reality, almost every move had a destruction degree of about 150,000 calories. Fong Ping did not absorb energy. Old Man Li was like a black hole. In the surrounding waters, countless energies swarmed toward him and began to be absorbed by him. It was extremely fast. just as both of them were exchanging blows. Very soon, a figure appeared high in the sky, a few thousand meters away from them. The next moment, a few more figures appeared. The newcomers saw Wu Chuan in front of them. Someone laughed and said, "Guardian Wu, how do you feel?" Wu Chuan turned his head and took a look. He humphed. "Why are you here?" The newcomer grinned and said, "Can I come? I'm here to see the strength of these two shameless people." Just in time to confirm the accuracy of the ranking. The few people who came later were rank 8s and rank 9s. The one who spoke was a rank 9 powerhouse. He was all smiles, very happy. However, Wu Chuan said scornfully, "Can you tell? A weak rank 9 who has just entered rank 9 can casually blow you up. Can you tell the difference in strength?" The old man's expression was dark. He snorted. Wu Chuan's expression was even darker than his. He sneered and said, "I'm the 5th rank 9? Others aside, Wu Quishan is my opponent. Lin Xiaoman, a weak rank 9 like you, is quite the guts." The old man was a man. When he heard Wu Quishan calling his name directly, he said unhappily, "Call me president. Get lost." Wu Chuan cursed, "I insist on calling you by your name." "Are you unhappy?" Beside him, Vice President Liu looked calm. "Rank 9's matters will be settled by rank 9's. I finally don't have to care about it anymore. The president has broken through to rank 9. Now the president is in charge of the origin ranking. I only need to care about the other rankings. The president is asking for a beating. This is Magic City. Don't be arrogant." On MCMU's side, there were a lot of rank 9s in origin path. The two fellows who were fighting, even if they were on the origin ranking, were probably above level 5 origin path. The president was a level 1 origin path. He should keep a low profile. Obviously, President Lin did not have this awareness. Ever since he broke through to rank 9, he was full of confidence. "I'm going to rank you, Wu Quishan, 5th. What can you do? I'm not afraid of you." Ignoring Wu Quishan, the old man took a step forward and looked into the distance. When he saw the black cracks appearing, the two figures could only see golden afterimages. He could not help but change his expression. "This is rank 8 refinements?" Wu Chuan looked at him disdainfully. "What do you think? Rank 8 refinements is 2 refinements higher than a normal rank 8. Actually, you can see them as a level 2 origin martial artist. Moreover, both of them are prodigies. They have many tricks up their sleeves. One is myriad Dao unification, the other uses destruction matter to fight. Can you treat them as normal level 2 origin path?" President Lin nodded slightly. He said, "They're still testing the waters, right? Guardian Wu, who do you think will win?" "It depends. But I think Li Changsheng is in danger. It can't be that bad, right? Void-piercing sword art. Swordsmanship powerhouses are all about the heart to kill. Changsheng has no killing intent. He doesn't dare to fight to the death. This way, his combat strength will be reduced by 30%. Martial artists don't dare to press forward. In this aspect, he will lose." Wu Chuan shook his head. Li Changsheng could not summon any killing intent against the other party. Without killing intent, his longevity sword's combat strength would be greatly reduced. Fong Ping, this kid, could be considered an all-rounder martial artist. He could spar, he could also fight. He could deal with different opponents in different ways. Right now, this kid was neither arrogant nor rash. It seemed like Li Changsheng had a slight advantage. However, even if Fong Ping did not recover quickly, in a situation where it was not a fight to the death, Li Changsheng might not be able to defeat him. President Lin murmured, "Are they really going to change the rankings? If he surpasses Li Changsheng now, then next time..." As he said that, he glanced at Wu Chuan. "Next time it's going to be you." Wu Chuan did not bat an eyelid, but he secretly gritted his teeth. "What are you looking at me for? This kid is a rank 9. I'm at the top." The dignified guardian of the South, one of the 7 leaders of the 3 departments and 4 residences. "I can't afford to lose this face." Out of the 7 leaders, the other 6 were all at the top. Thinking about it, he still shot a glance at President Lin, humphed and said, "You're here just for the ranking?" Bullsh *T. Both of them fought all of a sudden. How could President Lin and his entourage come from Capital City so quickly. President Lin chuckled and said, "It's not just for the ranking. There's something else." Something else. Wu Chuan seemed to have thought of something. He nodded slightly and said, "I understand. These two fellows are suitable, but forget it. Let's see what they think." He said no more and continued to watch the battle. His gaze became more and more peculiar. Damn it, did these two fellows have no bottom line? They were getting stronger and stronger. At this moment, above the surface of the sea, the cracks had already begun to expand. These two bastards seemed to have the intention of creating a space battlefield on Earth. Could it be that they were going to enter the space battlefield to fight? There was a space battlefield in the catacombs that was not cut by the cracks. Earth actually had one too. No one knew how this thing appeared. When a battle reached a certain stage, it would automatically appear. When fighting on the battlefield, it would not be affected by the cracks. However, in the catacombs, creating a space battlefield was the exclusive property of the top. On Earth, a typical 5th or 6th stage origin could not do it, right? It's more than 150,000 calories. Wu Chuan exhaled softly. Unleashing the strongest explosive force of 150,000 calories was an existence that could tear space in the catacombs. This kind of origin was also the kind of top in the catacombs. And now both of them had done it. This was also a symbolic division. Moreover, this was not the limit of both of them. Li Changsheng could understand. Fong Ping, this brat had previously created a crack in the catacombs with all his might. Now he looked like he was doing it with ease. Did he still have energy left? President Lin's expression was solemn, but he was cursing in his heart. What was the use of my rank 9? Initially, he thought that he would not be threatened by these fellows anymore. But now, these two fellows could probably kill him easily. Damn it, that brat Fong Ping had threatened him many times. Now that he had come knocking on his door, he would not beat him up, would he? Chapter 857. Teacher, are you done playing? On the surface of the sea, Fong Ping was incomparably domineering. His Changdao had long disappeared. His hands tore through space, as if he had teleported, appearing in front of Old Man Li in the blink of an eye. He clenched his fists and hammered down. Behind him, the cracks cut the rank 8 golden armor, and the golden armor began to crack. Old Man Li swept his leg and snorted. What a waste! Was this brat using an 8th grade divine armor as a fig leaf? If this went on a few more times, his divine armor would be cut into pieces. It was only on Earth. If they did this to the catacombs, they would have been sliced into pieces long ago. Fong Ping laughed. It's a waste, but I can't be as shameless as my teacher. Old Man Li gritted his teeth. You've angered me. Bastard, you broke my clothes. Just you wait. As soon as he finished speaking, a blood-red glow erupted from Old Man Li's body. His vitality soared to the sky. At this moment, the eyes of many of the spectating cultivators turned red. Tears flowed from their eyes as they were stung by the pain. Seeing this, Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. The old man was still the strongest. Under the eruption, he could feel a sharp aura locking onto him, as if it could strike him at any time. Fong Ping was alarmed, but he smiled and said, "Not enough. Since I can't use it here, why don't I go in and try?" Through the rift, Fong Ping could already see what looked like a black battlefield. The space battlefield had appeared. It was fine if the two of them didn't go in. They could fight freely. However, once he completely let loose, he would not be able to control himself. The surrounding cultivators would probably be in trouble. All right, Old Man Li agreed without hesitation. He struck the void with his bare hands, and a huge crack appeared. Without another word, he stepped into the crack. Seeing that, Fong Ping let out a loud laugh and entered instantly. The two of them entered the crack, and it disappeared in the blink of an eye. Seeing this scene, many people were stunned. Where is he? Many people didn't know about the space battlefield, so when they saw the two of them disappear, they were dumbfounded. At this moment, a crack suddenly appeared. The two figures seemed to appear in another void. Someone in the crowd burst into laughter. It was these two fellows who tore open the crack themselves to let others watch the battle. Otherwise, if they hid inside and fought, others probably wouldn't be able to watch the battle. in the crack of the void, on the black battlefield. The two of them moved so fast that it was impossible to tell who was who. However, Old Man Li used Vitality Force, which was mostly blood red. Fong Ping used Destruction Force, which was mostly gold. They could only see two flashes of light, and a faint rumbling sound rang in everyone's ears. Outside, Guo saw that many people were confused. He thought for a moment and said, "This is a space battlefield, exclusive to top-notch experts. When an expert's destructive power exceeds the limits of the world, a space battlefield will appear, and they will enter another void to fight." Spatial battlefield. Another void? Many people were shocked to the extreme. He even created another space? Someone couldn't hold it in any longer and whispered, "Principal Guo, can you explain the situation to us? We don't really understand it." Everyone came to watch the battle. One reason was to watch the show, and the other was that they really hoped to gain something. But at this time, the level of the two had exceeded everyone's understanding. When Guo heard that, he smiled and said, "Principal Fong and Dean Li are still fighting barehanded, using basic combat techniques as the foundation. There's no amplification from Origin Dao, no amplification from Ultimate Arts and Divine Weapons. Right now, these two are relying purely on the foundation of their physiques to tear apart the space. They are both top-notch rank 8 powerhouses. Right now, the destructive power of a single move is as high as 150 calories and above." Everyone was stunned again. In the crowd, Fong Yuan, who had rushed over with Chen Yunxi, was dumbfounded. 150 calories? Explosive power of a single move? What kind of concept was that? Her vitality was just slightly over 1,000 calories now, and one punch was 150 square meters? "Sister Yunxi, is my brother that strong now?" Chen Yunxi smiled and nodded. She said, "Your brother is a real top-notch powerhouse now. Although he and Instructor Li are both on the rank 8 ranking, if their real strength enters the rank 9 ranking, they can at least enter the top 20. Both of them had the strength of at least rank 5 Origin and above. It was still possible for them to enter the top 20. Other than the 17 Paragons in Sino Nation, there were not many rank 9 people who could defeat them." Fong Yuan was stunned. Was he that strong? His brother had really become the overlord of the martial arts world. The outside world was abuzz with discussion. Guo began to explain. In the space battlefield, Fong Ping and Old Man Li were not interested in looking at the pitch-black space. They could not see anything. It was just like a cage battlefield. Once both of them entered the battlefield, they gave it their all in an instant. Without using divine weapons and ultimate arts, both of their physical strength had been unleashed to the extreme. Close to 40 yuan, Old Man Li suddenly shouted, his eyes bursting with sharp sword light. "You've really gained a lot, kid. It's similar to the void-piercing swordsmanship. Your strength control has reached close to 70%. Fong Ping laughed. 70%? Not yet, almost. My destructive power is as high as 63 yuan. If it's 70%, it should reach 44 yuan and above. It shouldn't be difficult to defeat Instructor." Although it was only a difference of a few yuan, it was a difference of tens of thousands of cow. Old Man Li snorted softly. "Dream on? Do you really think I'm scared? I'll beat you up first, kid." "Void piercing," Old Man Li growled. He did not draw his sword, but his palm was like a sword, slashing toward Fong Ping. Fong Ping raised his fist and punched. Boom! Crack! Old Man Li's palm was incomparably sharp, cutting Fong Ping's right fist in an instant, leaving a huge scar. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. A rank 8/8 refinement golden body could not block the old man's palm sword. The palm sword just now probably had more than 180,000 calories of destructive power. That's it? Fong Ping had just finished speaking when Old Man Li's laughter rang in his ear. That's it. Crack! Old Man Li's figure was like a ghost, appearing above Fong Ping's head in the blink of an eye, slamming his palm down. Fong Ping tilted his head, evading Baihui. Boom! There was a loud explosion. The palm sword hit Fong Ping until he saw stars. Fong Ping took the opportunity to hang upside down, flipped and kicked backward, the tip of his foot jabbing into Old Man Li's palm. Crack! It was as if something had shattered. Old Man Li swung his palm, tossing out a smear of blood. He laughed. Your reflexes aren't slow. Of course. Fong Ping shook his head. I participated in so many battles after all. How can I be so weak? Kid, I don't have your ability to shield energy in the space battlefield. I don't have enough energy reserves. I'm going to go all out now. Old Man Li was getting anxious after failing to take him down a few times. In a war of attrition, the chances of him being killed were as high as 99%. He could not afford to waste time. After a few times, he had unleashed his full strength. Although he was absorbing energy as he fought, after entering the space battlefield, there was no more energy left to absorb. If he unleashed his strength like this a few more times, he would run out of energy and fight with his body. When that happened, there was a high chance that he would be beaten up by Fong Ping. Then I'll go all out. Fong Ping laughed loudly. A Changdao appeared in his hand. As soon as the Changdao appeared, the old man opposite him also had a long sword appear instantly. With a long sword in hand, Old Man Li's aura changed completely. It was incomparably fierce. Kill! The old man's murderous aura flared up instantly. He slashed with his sword. Before the sword reached him, a clear cut appeared on Fong Ping's forehead. All right. Fong Ping gritted his teeth. The old man had actually unleashed his murderous intent. He was going to fight with his life. I'll beat you to death. Crack! This was Fong Ping's shout. With a roar, the saber glow illuminated the entire space battlefield. You can do it, so can I. You're showing off in front of an expert. Old Man Li sneered. Before Fong Ping's Changdao landed, Old Man Li's silhouette flickered suddenly, and the long sword had already landed. Pooh! Creak! An ear-piercing sound rang out. Fong Ping's skull was sliced open directly. A sword mark almost split him into two halves. Fong Ping's saber had also landed on Old Man Li's left shoulder. The saber cut into the bone, and the sound of golden bone cracking could be heard. Both of them took a step back at the same time. Fong Ping's skull that had been sliced open recovered instantly. He scolded, Old man, are you going to kill me? Cut the crap. Aren't you the same? You won't die. Old Man Li said, then said, Give me a few thousand yuan of imperishable substance first. I'll fight while I recover. What you? Hurry up, or I won't fight anymore. You, hurry up. Old Man Li was very arrogant. Hurry up and give me, or I won't fight with you anymore. Your injury recovers so quickly. How am I supposed to fight? Fong Ping gritted his teeth, but he tossed out a ball of imperishable substance. Old Man Li swallowed it instantly, and the injury on his right shoulder healed in the blink of an eye. Only then did he laugh. You can't do it. Remember, the enemy isn't a dead person. I can't beat you, but can I just avoid it? As he said that, he closed in again. The long sword appeared and disappeared like a ghost. In the blink of an eye, it broke through Fong Ping's defense, and the sword pierced Fong Ping's throat. Pooh! Pierced! Old Man Li's sword pierced through Fong Ping's throat. Fong Ping's throat gurgled, and blood gushed out. However, it shot out like a sharp arrow, shooting toward Old Man Li in an instant. Insignificant skill. You think Old Man Li was very arrogant. He thought that Fong Ping was going to use this to fight back. Just as he said that, his vision suddenly went black. Fong Ping's blood instantly turned into a huge screen. It did not attack him. Instead, it blocked his line of sight and diverted his attention. At this moment, Fong Ping's left hand grabbed the long sword that had pierced through his throat. His right hand held the saber, and as fast as lightning, he slashed at Old Man Li's right arm that was holding the sword. The fast Old Man Li was still preparing to receive his blood arrow. Rumble! Flesh and blood splattered. Old Man Li pulled the sword out and retreated. At this moment, the upper half of his right arm was completely devoid of flesh and blood. A clear saber mark was left on his bones. Brat, you've learned to play dirty. Old Man Li laughed. Not bad, but it's a pity that you didn't manage to chop off my right arm. Looks like you're still not good enough. Fong Ping touched his throat and humphed. I see that you're old. I'm just afraid that you'll look bad if you lose your arm. That's all you've got. Old Man Li laughed. His expression turned serious in an instant. Hard. The sound of a sword's hum shook the void. Fong Ping's eardrums suddenly felt extremely uncomfortable. He felt dizzy and his mentality was affected. A piercing pain in his heart told him that Old Man Li was really piercing his heart. You can't pierce through my flesh. Fong Ping roared. His Chongdao pierced through the air and slashed at his right arm again. The sound of flesh being pierced rang out. Old Man Li's sword pierced his heart, but his expression changed. He cursed loudly. Mother Cur, you bastard! Rumble. Crack. The bones of his right arm were sliced in half. As for Fong Ping, there was a hole in his chest, but his heart could not be seen. The next moment, Fong Ping's body swayed. His heart suddenly moved from the right side of his chest to the left, returning to its original position. Fong Ping said scornfully, Do you think I'm that stupid? At his level, his control over his flesh was too high. His heart felt pressure, so he moved it immediately. The old man must be stupid. Although he was a rank 8 powerhouse and his heart had turned into a golden body, if it was really broken, the energy would still leak out, and the pain would be unbearable. This was the opportunity for the opponent to kill you. However, Fong Ping only allowed the long sword to pierce his chest. It did not hurt any vital parts. Instead, it was only a small injury. However, when he slashed with his saber, Old Man Li's right arm was really fractured. The golden bone was almost completely broken. As the two of them fought, outside, Fong Yuan waited for them to stop and suddenly screamed. In the blink of an eye, Old Man Li had chopped off Fong Ping's skull, pierced through his throat, and pierced through his chest. For a middle-rank martial artist, such injuries would definitely kill him. It was Fong Yuan's first time seeing such a scene. He did not see it clearly before, but when the two of them stopped and saw it clearly, he could not help but scream. The old man wanted to kill Big Bro. This was too ruthless. The others knew more or less. They also knew that a rank 8 powerhouse would not die so easily. However, at this moment, their hearts stopped, and they felt like they could not breathe. Soon, someone exhaled and said, So fast, so strong. Vice-Chancellor Fong is no match for Dean Li. Fong Ping's defeat was too obvious. His skull, throat, and heart were all pierced through. The disadvantage was obvious. However, among the crowd, a few rank 9 powerhouses gathered at this moment looked solemn. Wu Chuan said in a low voice, I'm afraid Chongqing is going to suffer a setback. Fong Ping looked like he was seriously injured, but his bones were not hurt. It was just a flesh wound. Fong Ping continuously slashed at Old Man Li's right arm, but he had really chopped off the golden bone of his right arm. Li Chongqing held the sword in his right hand. Although at his level, he did not need to hold the sword in his hand, but this was the difference between powerhouses. Fong Ping used a flesh wound in exchange for chopping off the golden bone of his right arm. If this went on, Li Chongqing's first place among rank 8 might really be a little uncertain. Wu Shengquan also said with a strange expression, Vice-Chancellor Fong's closed-door cultivation this time has really gained a lot. Not only is his strength control close to 70%, but I see that his current battle seems to be more orderly than before. Advancing step by step, constantly weakening Dean Li's advantage. At the cost of injuries, he chopped off his golden bone. This is not luck. In the past, when Fong Ping fought, there was only one word, reckless. Anyway, he did not lack energy, he was not afraid of injuries. As long as he could not kill him, he would just force himself on you. However, this time, when Fong Ping fought, advancing step by step, it seemed like he did not recover much. The number of times he used his recovery ability had decreased, and he was still paying more attention to strategy during the battle. Li Chongqing seemed to have not adapted to Fong Ping's new fighting style, unexpectedly falling into his trap for a while. The few of them looked at each other, a little surprised. If this went on, Li Chongqing might really be dragged to death by this kid. It was not that his recovery was dragging, but Li Chongqing's injuries were slightly more serious than Fang Ping's. Even if both sides were at the same level and had similar combat strength, in the end, based on injuries, Old Man Li would probably lose, unable to outlast Fang Ping. Wu Chuan suddenly cursed under his breath. "You're so young. Why are you learning combat experience, combat tactics? Just continue to be reckless." "You're not reckless anymore. You're starting to learn from us old guys. It's very stressful." Before this, everyone still had an advantage in front of Fang Ping. No matter how high your rank is, how much strength do you control? When you fight, do you have any order to speak of? Other than recovering yourself and dragging others to death. What else do you know? That sense of superiority. Although envious and jealous of Fang Ping's recovery ability, we also have an advantage. The advantage of age, you young people won't understand. But now, we're done for. This bastard is starting to walk the path of a proper martial artist. If this goes on, the next time we meet, we will really be hung up and beaten by this kid. At the side, President Lin chuckled, looking at Wu Chuan again. 8-stage origin, basic vitality 150,000 calories, 0. 8 times increase, 80% strength control, 5% divine weapon, antique art, combat strength at full power, peak outburst close to 220,000 calories vitality strength. Guardian Wu, a powerhouse ranked 5th in the origin realm. If it was before, even if Fang Ping's outburst was stronger than yours, he might not be your opponent. But now, if Fang Ping went on like this, he would not lack combat experience, he would also have a method to fight. At the same level of outburst, if his physique was stronger than Wu Chuan's, when that time came, he would probably beat Wu Chuan up. And it seemed like it was not far away, right? Now, Fang Ping's peak outburst seemed to be close to 200,000 calories vitality strength. Wu Chuan humphed. Combat strength only depends on this? Did I get these few decades of combat experience for nothing? What a joke. No matter how many times Fang Ping entered the catacombs, how many times had he fought? Did he know what prediction was? When you slash, I already knew and dodged. Do you think you can hit me? No matter how strong an outburst is, what's the use? Just as they were talking, in the next second, in the space battlefield, Fang Ping suddenly stepped into the air. The moment he stepped into the air, a long sword appeared abruptly at the place he left. Old Man Li let out a ha, then laughed. Prediction? No, combat instinct. Fang Ping laughed. This is talent. In the past, I just disdained it, not that I can't. I just disdain dodging. What are you bragging about? Old Man Li cursed. Did you think I didn't know you? But this kid improved really fast. Fang Ping laughed again. I'm not bragging. I'm a genius. I'm serious. God, Old Man Li wanted to curse, but he quickly shut his mouth. Motherf asterisk cur, he could not curse. He was really a genius. 21 years old, practicing martial arts for less than 3 years. At this stage, if you said that Fang Ping was not a genius, then these old guys would really be trash. Both of them chatted, but it did not delay the battle. After all, Old Man Li was rich in combat experience. At this moment, he was much more alert. After many attacks, Fang Ping's injuries also increased. He became alert. Fang Ping was also holding back his naughtiness. From the beginning to the end, he only did one thing, and that was to break your right arm. Old Man Li's right arm was chopped again and again. Finally, with a crack, it broke completely. His right arm fell. This time, Fang Ping chopped off his right arm. The moment his right arm fell, Old Man Li suddenly held the sword in his left hand and cursed, "Little bastard, do you really think I'm a right-handed swordsman?" Before he finished speaking, Old Man Li held the sword and slashed down. This slash was so fast that almost no one could see it clearly. Fang Ping did not see it clearly either. Rumble! Crack! Fang Ping's skull was severely injured. Before he could rejoice over chopping off Old Man Li's right arm, his skull was severely injured. In the next second, Old Man Li stabbed with his sword almost continuously. Fang Ping had nowhere to evade this stab. Old Man Li's sword pierced his throat once again, sending him flying backward and nailing him to the battlefield. Fang Ping was just about to leap up and fight again when in the next second, Old Man Li suddenly appeared outside the crevice. Outside the crevice, Old Man Li was calm and collected. He reattached his right arm and recovered in the blink of an eye. He smiled faintly. This guy is not weak. It will be a little difficult to defeat him. As he said that, he shook his head and disappeared in the blink of an eye. In the next moment, Fong Ping broke through the air and scolded, "Old bastard! I'm so angry." What Old Man Li did just now was the final radiance of the setting sun. Although it looked like Fong Ping was at a disadvantage, with his skull smashed and his throat nailed to the ground, Fong Ping's injuries were not bad. The old man, on the other hand, was now exhausted. If he did not recover, Fong Ping could definitely beat him until he hugged his head and cried. But the old man was too cunning. He nailed Fong Ping to the battlefield in a domineering manner and then ran away. He did not want to fight anymore. Shameless. Fong Ping's face was full of grief and indignation. This was the battle that made me famous. But now, looking at the martial artists around him, it was obvious that they did not think the same way. These guys might not have understood anything. They only knew that Fong Ping was brutally beaten by Li Changxing. His skull was smashed, and he was nailed to the ground by a long sword. It was too tragic. As for Li Changxing, his only injury was a broken arm. To them, having an arm to beat Fong Ping to this state was obviously a great advantage. In the crowd, Fong Yuan saw that her brother seemed to be very angry and quickly shouted, "Brother, you're the best. You fought with Dean Li like this. Even though you lost, you're still very strong." Fong Ping almost wanted to pinch her to death. "Are you my sister? If you don't have a good eye, don't talk nonsense. When you say that, those who don't know might really think that I lost." As expected, the next moment, someone in the crowd said, "Vice Chancellor Fong is already very strong. He can actually fight with longevity, sword to this extent, and even cut off one of his arms. He's really strong." Yeah, Dean Li is an existence who once killed a rank 9 with 3 swords. This time, he actually defeated Vice Chancellor Fong after 1,000 moves and even cut off an arm. The crowd discussed animatedly. Fong Ping felt wronged. "You bastards. If you don't have the ability, don't pretend to know everything, okay? I'm going to win." Fong Ping suddenly looked at Wu Chuan, his face full of anticipation. "You guys must know. Hurry up and say it. Tell everyone I actually won." Wu Chuan ignored him. President Lin looked around and did not seem to see him. "You lost. We won't let you surpass Li Changxing now. Otherwise, we'll lose our cover." No one understood it anyway. Who said that Li Changxing lost? Ask the people here. Do they believe it? Gu Shengquan wanted to say something, but stopped. Wu Chuan winked at him. "Don't talk nonsense. Fong Ping lost. If he knocked Li Changxing down, this guy's ego would soar to the sky." Gu Shengquan laughed dryly. The next moment, Wu Chuan telepathically said to Fong Ping, "Don't be indignant. He didn't use a killer move. Otherwise, do you really think you can win him?" Fong Ping was gloomy. "Nonsense. I was sparring. I have a killer move too. Did I self-destruct the House of Gold? Really? The old man lost, so be it. He wanted to save his face. In the end, he ruined my face. Am I shameless? How humiliating." There were so many people watching the battle. Initially, he wanted to get the first place after coming out of closed-door cultivation. Now it's great. Second place is secured. No one will believe me if I say I'm strong. Forget it. Fong Ping sighed helplessly. He had to save some face for the old man. He could leave the rank 8 first place to him. The next time we fight for the rank 9 first place, you won't be as fast as me, right? Everyone disperse. Fong Ping shouted and laughed. It's just sparring. Don't take it seriously. January 22nd. Fong Ping came out of closed-door cultivation and fought Li Changxing. They entered the space battlefield and lost. The Devil King was no match for the longevity sword. However, after the battle, the South Guardian commented that both of them had the strength of the top 20 in Origin Path. Both were true invincible rank 8 powerhouses. As one of Sino Nation's leaders, Wu Chuan's comment was highly credible. Everyone agreed with this point. Both of them really had the strength of the top 20 in rank 9. This year, Fang Ping was 21 years old. Li Changsheng was 61 years old. From the ranking list, Fang Ping was the youngest. Old man, Li was the second youngest. A battle between two young people. This news spread rapidly. Not long after Fang Ping and the rest returned to MCMEU, the topic of a battle between two young people became a hot topic. Fang Ping suddenly did not feel wronged anymore. He only had the urge to laugh. A battle between two young people? This topic was good. Chapter 858. In the big conference hall, Wu Chuan arrived a step later. Old man, Li had already returned to normal. He glanced at Wu Chuan, snorted softly, and said nothing. Calm at my ass. You're the young one. The news spread extremely fast. Everyone had just returned to MCMEU when the outside world started spreading it. It was all because of Wu Chuan, the shameless bastard, talking nonsense in front of the reporters who rushed there. Wu Chuan looked indifferent. As the Guardian, what's wrong with me commenting on you guys? He found a place to sit, minding his own business. Fang Ping had also returned to normal. President Lin and the others were also seated. When Wu Chuan arrived, President Lin smiled and said, "Congratulations, Vice-Chancellor Fang." In this battle, although Fang Ping and Li Changsheng were just sparring, after this battle, Fang Ping had also truly demonstrated the strength of Origin Path. It was his own combat strength that had reached the Origin Path level, not relying on external objects or methods like self-detonation. Fang Ping was still in a good mood. He chuckled and said, "Congratulations to you too. I haven't had the time to congratulate the president for entering rank 9. President Lin smiled bitterly helplessly. Don't congratulate me. If I did, where would I hide my face?" Wu Chuan interrupted. "Old Lin, you didn't have this attitude before. I remember that when you first arrived, the first thing you said was that two shameless bastards were competing. You're here to see the shameless bastard." As soon as he said that, President Liu, who was seated at the side, shrunk his body. This had nothing to do with him. The dignified guardian was starting to sow discord. If the president was beaten to the ground, he would not care. "I've only just entered rank 8. President Liu, who used to think that rank 8 was out of reach, now really felt that rank 8 was only. This kid Fang Ping a few times said that he wanted to sneak up on me. You rank 9 powerhouses go ahead and chat, pretend that I don't exist." President Lin's smiling face stiffened. Why is Wu Chuan so talkative? You're a guardian, after all. Why are you so narrow-minded? What's wrong with Sino Nation? From top to bottom, there's not a single good person. It's fine if I don't quit this stupid president. I've been in charge of the ranking for the past 2 years. Everyone was dissatisfied with my ranking. I thought that a rank 9 would be able to withstand the pressure. Now it seems maybe it's better for me to resign. President Lin glanced at Wu Chuan, then at Fang Ping and Li Changsheng, who seemed to be smiling. He coughed dryly and said, Let's get down to business. Let's talk business. Let's cut to the chase. This time we came to Shanghai for something." President Lin regained his smile and acted as if he hadn't heard those words. He quickly said, "Principal Fang, Dean Li, Elder Lin, there's something wrong with the way you address me." Old man Li seemed to be picking a fight on purpose. He grinned and said, "I'm still this kid's teacher and senior. You're such a snob. Just because he's young and has a higher position than me, you're calling him that? Isn't that inappropriate?" A long sword appeared in old man Li's hand. He caressed the long sword as if he was polishing it. He sighed. The human heart is not what it used to be. President Lin's head was about to explode. F***CK. He had fallen into a thief's lair. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have come. Unfortunately, it was too late now. Suppressing his desire to fight this guy one-on-one, President Lin coughed again and said, "Li," just as he was about to continue addressing Fang Ping, he saw that Fang Ping was also rubbing his palms together. He was so angry that his face turned green. "Fine, I won't address you anymore. Let's get down to business. This is what happened." President Lin went straight to the point and said quickly, The World Martial Arts Association contacted all parties this time and invited peak rank 8 powerhouses from various countries and holy lands, as well as some rank 9s who have yet to officially enter the origin path for a meeting. The main thing is to discuss the matter of the King Battleground. It just so happens that MCMU's rank 8 number 1 and number 2 are both here. Lu Jun is also a powerhouse who has yet to enter the origin path. When it came to business, President Lin became much more serious. He put on an attitude that said, "If you dare interrupt, I won't talk anymore," forcing everyone to forget what happened just now. Fong Ping could not help but laugh. He said quickly, "President, continue. Gathering peak rank 8 and weak rank 9 martial artists to discuss the matter of the King Battleground? If that's the case, the various countries and holy lands still want a piece of the pie in the King Battleground?" President Lin nodded and said, "I'm afraid that's what they're thinking. Right now, the King Battleground has yet to be completely destroyed. Powerhouses who have officially entered the origin path are still unable to enter. This matter concerns the 2 kings of the catacombs. All the holy lands have been exploring the King Battleground all these years. Now that it's the final stage, no one will give up easily." Fong Ping asked curiously, "Why is this matter managed by the Martial Arts Association?" President Lin looked at him in surprise. After a while, he said, "The Martial Arts Association, you can actually understand it as the Foreign Affairs Department. We're a link between martial arts powerhouses from various countries and the Holy Lands." This fellow Fong Ping, other than knowing the ranking, did he care about anything else? The existence of the Martial Arts Association was to coordinate matters between martial artists from various countries. This fellow actually asked why they were in charge? Nonsense, it's not our business. How did you participate in the youth competition previously? President Lin cursed in his heart, but he put on a smile on his face. Forget it. He could not beat this kid, so he should just resign himself to fate. Old man Li did not care about this. Instead, he said slightly solemnly, "The 2 kings of the King Battleground have awakened. They're all top-notch powerhouses among the true kings. At this time, all the holy lands actually want a piece of the pie. Isn't this valuing money over life?" Old man Li was slightly displeased. It was extremely dangerous inside now. If a rank 8 or 9 powerhouse went in now, it would be no different from sending themselves to death. President Lin thought for a while before saying, "This news has just come from the World Martial Arts Association. Minister Zhang and the rest are not here now. I've asked Deputy Minister Wu and Deputy Commander-in-Chief Li. They said that we can participate. Whether we go or not will be discussed later." What Wu Quishan and Li Daong meant was that they should join first to take a look, just in case they missed out on any important information. As for whether they could enter or not, that would be discussed later. Beside him, Wu Chuan asked, "What does Star Town mean?" The reply from Star Town's side is that they want to participate. Moreover, it's best if they can lead this operation. President Lin laughed. "You guys know that Star Town has been exploring the King Battleground for 100 years. They've always been fighting in the King Battleground. At this time, at the last moment, they won't give up." "That's true." Wu Chuan nodded. He was not surprised. Star Town's high-ranked martial artists were almost all fighting in the King Battleground. Now that the 2 kings had really appeared, they would definitely not give up. Fong Ping thought for a while and said, "What exactly is inside the King Battleground? If it's for the 2 kings, it's useless for us to go in. The Catacombs' true kings are also thinking of joining forces to break through the King Battleground. I don't think it's too difficult. But with so many people scheming, could it be that they're all trying to seize the 2 kings' Dao?" President Lin laughed. "I'm really not too sure about this, but all the Holy Lands should know. I don't think it's just for the 2 kings. Of course, maybe it's also because of that. All of you know that the 2 kings are actually powerhouses under the Demon Emperor's command. They've experienced the Emperor era. They knew too much, and it even included some secrets related to the Monarch realm. Also, the key point is, President Lin's tone was solemn. They might know what the Seed of Rebirth is. According to the information from the catacombs, the Seed of Rebirth appeared after the Demon Emperor's demise. This means that the 2 kings have experienced this scene. How long have the two kings lived? They might have lived longer than the bounded boundaries. During the Demon Emperor era, the bounded boundaries didn't seem to have appeared. These two old antiques are indeed very important. They might be insiders back then. Maybe they'll have some clues. Fong Ping shook his head. That's not something we can participate in. The two kings' combat strength is comparable to the suppressing Heavenly King. They belong to the top true king powerhouses. People like us are considered strong in the eyes of ordinary martial artists. When we're in front of them, they can kill us with a single blow. Wu Chuan said thoughtfully. The two kings might not have completely recovered now, or they might not be able to make a move. The most troublesome thing about the king battleground is the massive chaotic origin path. It's incomparably powerful. Now all the Holy Lands suddenly want to gather everyone for a discussion. I think they might know that the two kings are restricted and want to use this opportunity to achieve some goals. Fong Ping looked at him strangely. Wu Chuan was a little annoyed by the stare. He raised his eyebrows. What's wrong? That? Senior Wu, you're one of the 7 leaders of Sino Nation. Why do I feel like you're guessing everything? Don't you have any right to know? The entire hall fell silent. Wu Chuan's expression was very pleasant. What did he mean? After a while, Wu Chuan huffed and puffed. I only care about the southern catacombs. Everything else has nothing to do with me. That's what it is, understand? I don't care about anything else. Cough, cough. There's nothing I can do about it. As the least experienced guardian of the southern catacombs, he lacked strength, experience, and was the youngest. Among the 7 leaders, he indeed had the least right to know. Moreover, this concerned the holy lands of Star City. He had never come into contact with Star City before. Those fellows would only look for the 3 departments to solve their problems when they came out. They would not look for him. Fong Ping saw that his words had made old Wu's face darken. He hurriedly gestured with his fists and held back his laughter. He continued, let's not talk about Senior Wu for now. President Lin, now all the parties mean to let the peak rank 8 and the weak rank 9 meet first. Don't tell me they want all of us to enter the king battleground? Gathering us in advance is to discuss how to profit? I'm not sure about this for now. This time, the convener is the pantheon of gods. President Lin explained, this time, most of the peak rank 8 in Star City have left with a few ministers. The pantheon of gods is currently the strongest. They also have the god of war, the sun god, and a few others, so this time, they're the leaders. The World Martial Arts Association wants to gather first. We'll discuss the specifics when we arrive. What's the location? It's not decided yet. The time is almost after the new year. Now, all the parties are seeking the opinions of peak rank 8 and rank 9 martial artists to see how many they can gather. President Lin explained once again. At the level of peak rank 8, they could not be gathered with just a summons. Take MCMU, for example. He personally came to invite them. In the era when the peak rank 8 did not appear, these people were the overlords of a region. Sino Nation was slightly better. In some countries, a weak rank 9 was already the ruler of a country. Without personally inviting them, it was almost impossible to expect them to come with just a few words. Pantheon of Gods. Fong Ping's gaze flickered slightly. Speaking of Pantheon of Gods, I thought of someone. Zayli Caro returned to Pantheon of Gods last time. How is he now? That evil sect's 3rd elder was not a real evil sect member. Li Zhu's pawn. Fong Ping had also told old Zhang. He did not know how old Zhang arranged it. Zayli Caro, I know about this. Wu Chuan finally knew about it this time. He smiled and said, Zayli Caro is still in Pantheon of Gods. There are some things that the ministers have arranged. He is Li Zhu's pawn. As for us, we still have some common goals with Li Zhu. Before the all-out war starts, Zayli Caro is not a threat, but an important link. That's why we can't kill him now. Li Zhu. Speaking of Li Zhu, Fong Ping frowned. This time, Andes and Totem City lost 2 peak rank 8 powerhouses. Although our relationship with the other holy lands is average, everyone's goal is still the same. There are not many human peak rank 8 to begin with. 2 of them fell at once, and it's all because of Li Zhu. This guy hides at the back and takes all the advantages. Can't we let him suffer a big loss? He was very vigilant towards Li Zhu. This guy is either stupid, or he's truly ambitious. After a few incidents, Fang Ping felt that this guy was even more cunning than old Zhang. He was one of the chess players that Fang Ping knew on the surface. This guy had led a few major events and caused the death of many true kings. Mystic Jade, True King, two of the human peak rank 8, the deaths of these people were all related to him. A guy who did not show any strength, hiding at the back and casually manipulating things caused a huge impact. This matter depends on the peak rank 8's opinion. Wu Chuan laughed. No matter how angry you are, it's useless. He hides in the depths of the catacombs. You can't do anything to him. President Lin was not very clear about these things and did not want to talk about these things. He said again, Vice-Chancellor Fang, then I've informed your side. When the specific time and place are arranged, you can go and participate. Fang Ping said directly, I won't go overseas. It's fine in the country. There are peak rank 8 powerhouses overseas who can threaten my life. The catacombs arrest warrant is still there. I'm not at ease. In the country, he was not afraid of anything. However, when he was overseas, in someone else's territory, as long as there were peak rank 8 who thought that taking him down would benefit them, he would not be able to resist. Fang Ping said again, It's not just me, Instructor Li too. Dean Lu too. The suppression cannon he created was seen by many people this time, including some powerhouses from the 5 Holy Lands. If he goes overseas, what if those people want to obtain the manufacturing method of the suppression cannon and force him to tell them? President Lin, you should communicate with the World Martial Arts Association about this. It's best to hold it in Sino Nation. President Lin pondered for a moment, then said, All right, then I'll go back and communicate with all parties. The Pantheon of Gods wants to go to Europe. This time, their peak rank 8 might appear. If it's in Sino Nation, their peak rank 8 might not come. Let's discuss it first. We'll inform everyone when there's a decision. All right. Fang Ping nodded, but he was calculating in his heart. This time, the human parties had ideas about the King Battleground. Jiao also had ideas about Destiny Royal Court. In that case, maybe they could really work together this time. Will they send people in too? Fang Ping was slightly doubtful. Would it be useful to go in now? Even if the 2 kings were restricted and could not fight in the King Battleground, what else was there that was worth the peak rank 8's attention? Since martial artists below the origin path were allowed to enter, it might not be for the 2 kings themselves. All these years, these people have been letting martial artists explore the King Battleground. The ruins are only one aspect. There's probably another purpose. Others might not know, but Warlord and the others should know. Fang Ping was sure that the peak rank 8 of Star City might know why. The peak rank 8 of the 6 great holy lands should know. Otherwise, they would not let their descendants enter the King Battleground for so many years, especially the rank 9. Some people deliberately did not walk out of the origin path just to stay in the King Battleground. I'll probably know after asking the people in Star Town. Fang Ping did not think about this anymore. Whether to go to the King Battleground or not, it was up to him. The 2 kings were inside. If he was not 100% sure that these 2 fellows would not attack, Fang Ping would not step in easily. At his current level, Fang Ping was not too afraid even if it was a top-notch origin path unless he was a powerhouse. Although there was a high probability that he would not be a match for the other party, it would not be easy for the other party to kill him. However, he was too far away from the true king realm. He was not a match for them. After discussing these matters for a while, President Lin said, There's one more thing I want to remind Vice-Chancellor Fang. The World Martial Arts Association also wants to trade some resources with you this time. They specifically mentioned it once. President Lin smiled and said, Everyone knows about your reputation as a treasure of many treasures. Actually, we can still give it a try. These holy lands have also guarded the catacombs for many years. The North, South, East, and West territories are slightly different. Some things are specialties of each territory. Some of these holy lands peaks have lived for a long time. They don't always guard Mount Royal Sea. If you trade, you might be able to exchange for something that will help you. Fang Ping nodded slightly. This can be done. Multi-party exchanges are beneficial to the improvement of martial arts. The trading platform I set up previously was actually for this purpose. However, there are not many powerhouses in each country. The Holy Lands are not involved. These fellows are self-sufficient. They don't seem to have any intention of participating, so I gave up. Fong Ping said with a smile, since they have this idea, then we can try. However, I don't have anything good on hand now. I'll see. Fong Ping was not in a hurry. It was okay if he did not have anything good on hand. If he really wanted to barter, if he saw something good and the other party did not want the energy stones, he could also go into the catacombs to look and get something back to trade. After discussing these, Fong Ping looked at Wu Chuan and asked with a smile, President Lin is here for this. Senior Wu, you're not here just to watch the battle, are you? Wu Chuan came very quickly. The Southern House of Guardians was not in Magic City. It was somewhere else. He came so quickly. He was probably not here to watch the battle. Wu Chuan answered, I'm here this time for two things. First, to borrow troops. Wu Chuan laughed. Currently, Magic City's catacombs have been defeated. A large number of powerhouses in MCMAU are idle. However, there are many catacombs in the south. Now, there is some pressure in other places. Therefore, my idea is to see if some of MCMU's powerhouses can go to the other catacombs in the south to fight. Dean Shinjinhua and the others need to fight now. They need to improve in battle. It's not a good idea to stay in MCMU all the time. As soon as he said this, Old Man Li said directly, this is not a problem. Actually, they've also prepared for this. Since the crisis in Magic City has been eliminated, other than a portion of those who stayed behind, the rest can go on expeditions everywhere. That's good. Wu Chuan was also quite happy. With a combat strength like MCMEU, the pressure on the catacombs in the south would be greatly reduced. However, which side MCMEU would support would depend on the wishes of MCMEU's powerhouses. Fortunately, the other bosses of the 3 departments and 4 houses had all left. He was still here now. Moreover, he was from MCMAU. It was like the pavilion closest to the water enjoys moonlight first. Second, it's related to Fong Ping. Wu Chuan thought for a while before saying, actually, it's about Senior Brother Tian. Senior Brother Tian was seriously injured in this battle. Now, he's almost crippled. Although he's different from the others and didn't faint, his mentality is almost dead now. He can't even walk the origin path anymore. I heard that previously, Fong Ping sent a holy fruit that might be able to heal injuries over to MCMAU. In the end, it was rejected by Senior Brother Tian. I'm also a little selfish. My idea is that since the others have been taken away by the few ministers, it's better to give the thing to Senior Brother Tian first. Wu Chuan sighed softly. Honestly, if injuries can really be healed, of course, it would be better to give it to Old Kong. If he recovers, his combat strength will be extremely strong. It will be more helpful to Sino Nation. That's probably what Senior Brother Tian is thinking. But this time, I really want to be selfish for once. Old Kong and the others are miserable, but Senior Brother Tian has been worse all these years. His entire family, old and young, have died in battle. Now that he's a cripple, what should we do? His whole life he's been fighting in the catacombs. Now that he's a cripple, are you going to let him retire? This isn't retirement. This is waiting for death. His essence, chi, and spirit are all gone. Wu Chuan sighed. I want to see him once. His condition is very bad. His hair is snow white. He's old in one night. My heart doesn't feel good. His mentality is even more serious than when Chongqing was injured. I'm afraid this isn't something that can be healed by ordinary things. All of you know that when I was in school, I actually stayed for many years. Before I became the Guardian of the South, I spent most of my time in MCMAU. Back then, Senior Brother Tian even taught me for a period of time. He's considered half a teacher to me. His lover, children, and grandchildren have all died in battle. He's the only one left in his family, old and young. Now that even he's like this, he might as well have died in battle in the catacombs. Wu Chuan felt bad as he spoke. He sighed again. Since he's not dead, Fong Ping seems to have obtained a treasure that can heal injuries. That's why I still want to mention this. Fong Ping felt bad too. He said helplessly, previously, I sent someone to send it to Senior Brother Tian. He refused no matter what. He said he's a weak rank 9. If he's crippled, then so be it. When the minister and the rest are back, try to pick a stronger one to heal him. Senior brother Tion's personality is also a man of his word. It's not that I don't want to agree to this. I have no choice. Fong Ping had his own selfish motives too. Of course, he also wanted to save these powerhouses who were injured this time. Moreover, this old man was indeed very miserable. He had been fighting all his life. The Tian family, old and young, had all died in battle in the catacombs. Now he himself was also a cripple. However, Tian Mu felt that his ability was weak. It did not matter whether he recovered or not, so he rejected directly. That Wu Chuan was a little embarrassed. Even his voice was much weaker. He said a little hoarsely, "What I mean is it's not just that healing holy fruit that Pine King's origin Dao." He could not even say this out loud. What he meant was that Fong Ping should give that to Tian Mu too. But this was a true king's origin Dao. Even some top-rank 9s would be jealous of this item. If Fong Ping was willing to sell it, perhaps those rank 9s would trample over the threshold. However, if he agreed to give this to Tian Mu too, perhaps Tian Mu could take this opportunity to walk on Pine King's origin Dao and quickly become a top powerhouse in the origin Dao. Perhaps he could not enter the absolute peak, but he would definitely not be too weak. When that time came, Tian Mu would have this kind of ability. He would not feel that he was a cripple anymore. As soon as he said this, Old Man Li glanced at Fong Ping. He coughed softly and said, "That? Fong Ping. Actually, if there is no suitable candidate, I think senior brother Tian is quite suitable. You probably won't walk on Pine King's Dao. You can only choose one from some peak rank 8s or weak rank 9s. It'll be too wasteful if you leave him idle." Of course, this is a true king's origin Dao after all. Even he could not say for sure at this time. Back then, in order to take back what belonged to their ancestor, the Yang family was willing to sacrifice their rank 9s. Even if the Yang family was destroyed, they would not hesitate. From this, it could be seen how important the true king's Dao was. Even the absolute peak would covet it. Perhaps the absolute peak could take the opportunity to walk on a second path. Even if this path might not be very long, it would not matter. Killing a true king, Zhang Tao, and the rest could do it. However, killing a true king and leaving behind his origin Dao was not just a path that was converted from an ultimate technique. Instead, it was a path that was truly stripped from a true king. This thing was really luck, heaven-defying luck. Only the cat had fished Pine King out, knocked him unconscious, and stripped him. Otherwise, it was almost impossible for other powerhouses to do it. When Fong Ping heard what they said, he could not help but laugh. "You're all my seniors. Why are you so embarrassed?" I think the Vice-Chancellor is not embarrassed at all. How thick-skinned is he? He did not even mention the Mystic Jade True King's ultimate technique. After teasing Wu Quishan for a while, Fong Ping continued, "If you didn't mention it, I actually didn't think so much. As for me, I have always felt that the Catacombs' True King's path is too weak." He was influenced by Old Zhang. He always felt that the Catacombs' True King's path was too weak. In his opinion, King Pine's origin Dao should be given to a rank 9 powerhouse who had no hope of reaching the absolute peak. However, now that they mentioned it, Fong Ping suddenly realized that this thing was really precious. Although Tian Mu had always given him the feeling that he was very strong and very determined, did Tian Mu have any hope of reaching the absolute peak? That might not be the case. Moreover, the old man was dying now. Fong Ping said quickly, "Then I will make a trip later. As for High Grandmaster Kong and the rest, I will think of something." Wu Chuan suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Then, he could not help but laugh. "You think of something? Why do I feel that you really think of yourself as a minister now?" This kid. A few top-notch High Grandmasters were injured, and the absolute peak could do nothing about it. He said that he would think of something. He really did have the demeanor of a minister. Fong Ping smiled. In his heart, however, he thought of the cat tree. If the cat fruit could really heal the origin Dao's injuries, he could try looking for this tree. Could the recovery of Li Zhu's origin Dao's injuries be related to the cat fruit? Fong Ping suddenly had this thought. He did not know if it was right. Looks like I still have to go to the catacombs. Relying on old Zhang and the rest might not be reliable. Fong Ping lamented. Humans, when they became stronger, they would have to bear greater responsibilities. In the end, they still had to rely on themselves. Chapter 859. It was still too early for martial arts powerhouses from various countries to hold a meeting. Fong Ping was not in a hurry to go over to Tianmu's matter. After sending off the people from the Martial Arts Association, Fong Ping could not care less about their suspicious expressions. The most important thing now was to settle Qin Fengqing's matter. Qin Fengqing's Grandmaster Tower. Fong Ping, Li Hansong, and Wang Jinyang blocked this guy in the tower. Fong Ping was too lazy to talk nonsense. Once the three of them arrived, Fong Ping went straight to the point, shouting, "Unleash your mentality and crush this thing. Are you playing hide-and-seek with me?" As soon as he finished speaking, the three of them unleashed their mentality, intimidating the Grandmaster Tower. Their mentality intertwined, crushing the Grandmaster Tower until it began to deform. Inside the tower, Qin Fengqing was so depressed he wanted to vomit blood. Who was playing hide-and-seek? Wasn't he here? These bastards, picking a fight whenever they wanted, they just had to find an excuse. Their mentality was stronger than his, especially Fong Ping, whose mentality was comparable to a rank 9. Once he unleashed his mentality, Qin Fengqing wanted to vomit. That's about it. Qin Fengqing shuffled his feet, opened the window in the tower, and swore, "Don't pick a fight. I'm here. I haven't left. What's there to squash?" "You're still alive?" Fong Ping looked indifferent, as if he had just noticed him. "I thought you'd been possessed and died." Qin Fengqing rolled his eyes. "I'm not as good as you at lying through your teeth." Fong Ping snorted and did not say anything else. He leaped into the air and entered through the window. As soon as he entered, Fong Ping's gaze flickered, and he snorted. "Where did you steal the ores?" "The MCWU ores have been used up, and the catacombs haven't been excavated." "Where did you get them?" The energy concentration in this guy's Grandmaster Tower was extremely high. Qin Fengqing was so depressed he wanted to vomit blood. He said impatiently, "You don't use them yourself, and you're not letting me use them? There are spoils of war after conquering the Magic City catacombs this time. We've all gotten quite a bit. Not everyone is like you, who doesn't use these things." "Is that so?" Fong Ping glanced at Li Hansong. Li Hansong nodded slightly, then chuckled and said, "But a rank 7 like him shouldn't be able to get so much, right? The energy here is so dense that I thought I was in the pool of life." "Don't talk nonsense," Qin Fengqing said impatiently. "If you have something to say, say it." "Fong Ping, ignore him." Fong Ping huffed. "I won't believe you if you say you didn't ask for more." Ignoring this, Fong Ping looked around and glanced at his bedroom. He cursed under his breath, "Pauper." Qin Fengqing rolled his eyes again. "Damn it, are you looking for an opportunity to beat me up today? Did I offend you?" His bedroom didn't even have a bed, just a fur cushion. Although it was called a bedroom, it was even cleaner than a cultivation room. "Don't talk nonsense. Ask whatever you want to ask. Let's find a place to sit down and chat." Fong Ping could not stand his place. There was not even a stool, let alone a bed. "You only met me. Look at you. You don't even have a friend. They don't even have a dining table or a chair at home. How do they survive? You didn't even prepare to entertain the guests, did you?" Qin Fengqing said indifferently, "I'm so busy. Who has the time to entertain others?" Li Hansong pulled the rug out from under him. "It's because no one comes to visit. You don't need to. You're the one who doesn't come." Qin Fengqing said smugly, "Girls come to me often. I just can't be bothered." "You? Forget it." Li Hansong snorted. The two of them exchanged a few words. Fong Ping ignored them and performed flight step, flying toward his Grandmaster Tower. His place was better, although he did not spend much time there. In the living room, Fong Ping sat down on a chair made of rank 8 monster plants, gesturing for Li Hansong and the rest to sit down. Qin Fengqing glanced at it and asked curiously, 3 chairs? There's none for me." "You sit on the table." Looking at the few of them surrounding him, like they were interrogating him. Qin Fengqing sighed helplessly. He sat on the floor and said, "Ask whatever you want to ask. Say it yourself." Fong Ping's expression was unfriendly. He said bluntly, "If you dare to hide anything, I'll deal with you as a spy." Coincidentally, Zhao Xingwu is now in the catacombs as the left commander. How about I send you there to keep him company? Qin Fengqing sighed again, looking gloomy. After a moment of silence, he said, "Actually, this matter, how should I put it? Do you remember I told you before that I used to like to dig up ruins everywhere?" "Ruins?" Fong Ping frowned slightly. "You mean the sect ruins?" Fong Ping remembered this guy, saying that he had been to many sects in the past, working with sect disciples to dig together to see if they could dig up any treasures. Could it be related to this? Yes. Qin Fengqing nodded. It's a long story, but it's indeed related to the sect ruins. Especially when I know that the bounded boundaries are related to the sects, and that the myths might be real. I'm even more concerned about these. Qin Fengqing thought for a while, organized his words, and said, "I've dug up many sects in the past, but I found nothing. Ever since I found out that the bounded boundaries are the blessed grotto heaven, I feel that some of the sects today might not have been passed down from that period." "So, the last time I went to Star City," Fong Ping interrupted, "the last time?" Qin Fengqing explained, "When I broke through rank 7, didn't you ask me to go to Star City to ask Fatty for the warlord's split body? Didn't I go out for a few days that time?" Fong Ping's gaze was unfriendly. "It's been so many days, and you're very tight-lipped." Wang Jinyang said with a headache, "Fong Ping, let him speak first. Don't interrupt him." These two guys were enough to give him a headache. "Continue." Fong Ping humphed. Qin Fengqing pursed his lips and continued, "It was that time. On the way back from Star City, after getting the split body, I passed through Dongshan province. Isn't there Mount Tai on Dongshan? This is the origin of the myths and legends. One of the Taoist 36 Grotto Heaven, Pengxin Grotto Heaven, is also here. At that time, I didn't think much of it. I just wanted to take a look." At this point, Qin Fengqing paused and said, "In the end, when I got there, I passed by Queen Mother's pool. I thought that this is the legendary Jade Pool, and legend has it that many immortals have come here before. There are immortal palaces, temples, and nunneries everywhere." At this moment, Qin Fengqing seemed a little embarrassed. He coughed dryly and said, "I thought that there might be some treasures hidden here that no one else has discovered. So, that day I was also carried out on a whim. I went to dig a little." Li Hansong's expression was blank. After a while, he said, I remember there was a news report a few days ago that some places near Queen Mother's pool were damaged by people. The news even said that it was done by a tourist." "Loli, you did it?" Qin Fengqing said sheepishly, "I don't think so. I didn't dig at the same place. I changed a place and dug from underground. Logically, no one would find out, right? Get to the point." Wang Jinyang growled again. "Enough! I'm going to flip out if you interrupt me again." Li Hansong shut up immediately. Qin Fengqing said again, "That day I was really just digging randomly. I don't know what happened, but as I was digging, I seemed to have entered another small world." Qin Fengqing's gaze was a little strange. "It's really the kind of another world, not like the boundary wall in Star City. Actually, I can still sense it. That day, when I dug a little, I suddenly changed to another world, as if I was in another place. Let's put it this way. It's like we suddenly entered the catacombs from one world to another." Fong Ping could not care less about old Wang's tantrum now. He said in a low voice, "What you mean is you actually met such a powerhouse on Earth?" "I don't know if it was on Earth." Qin Fengqing shook his head. "Anyway, I entered from Earth. It's hard to say whether it was on Earth or not. Later, I guess that it might be the kind of passageway similar to the catacombs passageway. Actually, I've already reached the catacombs." Qin Fengqing took a deep breath and continued, "You know, I'm most interested in this kind of arcane land. When I dug in, I thought I found a treasure, so I didn't retreat at that time. I went in. After I went in, it was actually not a big place. What I saw was actually a fruit forest. I thought I'd reached the Saturn Peach Garden." Qin Fengqing laughed at this moment, a little envious. "It was really a fruit forest, so many kinds of fruits. When I saw it, It seemed like they were all energy fruits, all kinds of them. At that time, I wanted to pick some fruits, but Qin Fengqing frowned slightly. But, but it seemed like someone was guarding it. Seemed, Fong Ping said impatiently. Did you meet anyone or not? I really didn't. Qin Fengqing explained. When I wanted to go to the fruit forest halfway there, I felt like someone was staring at me. You know, I'm still more sensitive to these kinds of things. Someone is observing me in the dark. At that time, I was ready to leave, but very soon, that gaze seemed to have noticed Warlord's split body, and then the gaze disappeared. At that time anyway, I wasn't really afraid, so I didn't leave. I continued walking forward, ready to go to the fruit forest to pick fruits. In the end, when I reached the fruit forest, I realized that there was a boundary wall. This time, there was really a barrier I couldn't enter. I attacked it for a long time, but I couldn't open it. At that time, weren't you besieged by the evil sect? I was in a hurry to send the split body back. After attacking for a long time, it didn't open, so I was about to leave. In the end, when I left, it seemed like Qin Fengqing repeated with emphasis. It seemed like someone sent me a voice transmission. Anyway, the voice was very vague, asking me to come alone next time, then I could open the barrier. Actually, I'm alone. I suspect that the voice was talking about Warlord's split body. That's it? Fong Ping frowned. That's it? That's it? Qin Fengqing shrugged. That's it? Really? But there's one more thing. When I came out, I looked back. It's gone. The world entrance is gone. I can't find it. Qin Fengqing said helplessly. This passageway seems to be controlled by someone. I think I probably opened it by accident. If I want to open it again, I'm afraid I can only go in alone. That voice said one person. The last time I wanted to go in, I couldn't. It probably rejected Warlord's split body, so I didn't try again. Are you an idiot? Fong Ping's eyes were cold and stern. It's fine if you didn't say anything about this, but since you knew someone might be there, and you deliberately rejected Warlord's split body, it's obvious that you have some reservations. I told you to go alone, and you really went alone? You didn't even mention it. Are you afraid that I'll snatch your opportunity? I didn't mean that. Qin Fengqing was speechless. I know there might be danger. I'm not an idiot. But since I was fine the first time I went in, the other party might be wary of Warlord's split body, but they probably don't want to kill me. Didn't you guys also meet the old antiques in the bounded zone? Didn't they not die? The last time I entered the bounded zone with Iron Head, we were both thrown out in the end. I'm guessing that a place might have certain restrictions. If some people go in, then the opportunity is gone. Since there's a living person and he specifically told me to go alone, then I think he might have some arrangements or something. You also know that these old antiques are not easy to fool. If I bring you guys along, I might not be able to go in. Then you shouldn't have said nothing. It's not like that. I'm only rank 7. Qin Fengqing said gloomily. I'm just worried that these old antiques have many tricks up their sleeves. They can use mentality to probe some things. Once I say it, he might find out. I thought I'll go in alone and try again. If there's really a huge benefit, then we'll talk about it when I come back. Fong Ping humphed. How dare you? Aren't you afraid that you won't be able to come back? What's there to be afraid of? Qin Fengqing said indifferently. As long as the benefit is big enough, then it's worth the gamble. Won't you guys be in danger when you go to the bounded zone? When you guys went to the Shishan catacombs last time, you guys went in. If that old antique had evil intentions, didn't you guys die too? Just bet on your luck. Since these fellows have appeared now, I'm afraid they're not here to kill a rank 7 martial artist, right? If they were exposed so easily, then they wouldn't have hidden. Fong Ping frowned. After a while, he said, there's a big problem. They're actually people who appeared on Earth. I thought you met them in the catacombs. You know, Sino Nation has Old Zhang and the rest, and they've almost dug 3 feet deep. Their mentality is incomparably strong, and they've explored many places. Do you think that Paragon really didn't investigate these at all? We all know to go to the Blessed Grotto Heaven in reality to take a look. Not just them, even Warlord and the rest have checked many times. Old Zhang has checked 100%, but he found nothing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that these people are all old turtles, hiding in their shells and not coming out. Fong Ping frowned. You actually entered a new world on Earth. If that's the case, then there's an 80 to 90% chance that it's not like the one in Star City. If it's really like that, we would have been discovered long ago. Old Zhang said before that some sects on Earth have a small space similar to Star City's barrier. Some sects rank 7 and 8 powerhouses usually hide in there. Some of the fellows inside are still alive. However, it can't be hidden from Old Zhang. He has investigated almost all of them and grasped some of the situations inside clearly before he let it go. But now, Dongshan is not far from Capital City. Right under his nose, an old antique has appeared. This is a very serious problem. You actually didn't tell me. Qin Fengqing mumbled. It's okay. They won't dare to come out now. Don't I have plans? This time I plan to go take a look first. If I don't come back, 10 days later, the 3 departments and 4 houses, including MCMAU, will receive a fixed mail. When the time comes, you will naturally know. I've written down the address clearly. You will know when you go back and check. Easy for you to say. Fang Ping let out a humph. Li Hansong continued. When Fang Ping was preparing to counterattack Magic City's catacombs, he also thought about whether the blessed grotto heaven in reality has a passageway to the catacombs. Fang Ping had mentioned this to Jiang Chao before. Li Hansong had also heard about it. At this time, he muttered, could it be that you went to a grotto heaven? For example, Pengxian Grotto Heaven? The person you met was the master of Pengxian Grotto Heaven? Fang Ping opened his mouth and said, Pengxian Grotto Heaven is not among the 8 territories in Sino Nation. They are Quichang Mountain, Purple Cap Mountain, Wangwu Mountain, Weiyu Mountain, Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven, Xuanda Grotto Heaven, Dongyang Mountain, and Luofu Mountain. This was the data on the combat strength ranking given by Old Zhang. The 8 Grotto Heaven Masters were all on the ranking. Fang Ping suspected that Old Zhang had probably confirmed that the person was still alive and had investigated at Imperial Sea Mountain before. That was why he had given the ranking. If that was the case, then the 8 territories in Sino Nation had a master. As for the other 3 territories, Fang Ping did not know if there were undamaged territories or if Old Zhang had not been there before. Anyway, there were no Grotto Heaven Masters in other places on the ranking. If that was the case, then it meant that only Sino Nation had 8 territories that were intact. The Pengxian Grotto Heaven, where Mount Tai was, had no record. He did not know whether it did not exist or did not exist at all. 10 major Grotto Heavens, 36 small Grotto Heavens, and 72 blessed lands. Those were just legends. It did not mean that these places definitely existed. After hearing what he said, Qin Fengqing thought for a while before saying, actually, it doesn't really look like a territory. It's not like I haven't been to a territory before. That Sky Palace is the most obvious. Fang Ping said disdainfully, idiot, you went in from Earth. It could also be inside the Sky Palace. The fruit forest you saw might be on the Sky Palace. It's not impossible. I've only eliminated the possibility of it being Pengxian Grotto Heaven, but it might be another Grotto Heaven. According to the records, there was only one Pengxian Grotto Heaven in the Eastern Mountains. However, the Grotto Heavens in the nearby provinces could also have passages in these regions. For example, Mount Wangwu is actually in the West Mountain area. As the legendary number 1 Grotto Heaven, it may not be impossible to open a passage on Earth. It is understandable that the passage is in the East Mountain. East Mountain and West Mountain were adjacent to each other. Wangwu Mountain, one of the 8 great caves, still existed, so it was possible that the passageway was there. Qin Fengqing scratched his head and thought for a moment before saying, why don't I go take a look first? Didn't the old cat say that the other party might be using me? But if they want to use me, they should at least give me some benefits. Let me get to rank 9 first. As for whether or not I'll be using him, it's hard to say who'll be using whom when I reach rank 9. Fang Ping frowned. All you know is the benefits. Once they do something to you when you're advancing to level 9, you'll die. Didn't you hear what the cat said about the cat tree? He was very clear about the flaws in the other party's Tao of Quintessence. It was fine if they didn't know, but if they did, even if they reached the peak, it would still be extremely dangerous. If you want to mess around until you reach rank 9, or even paragon, do you think others are idiots? Didn't the other party have any control methods? Let's not talk about anything else. If they catch hold of the flaw in your source Tao, you'll be under their control for the rest of your life. Qin Fengqing said sheepishly. Then I'll go and mess around until I reach peak rank 8. After I reach peak rank 8, I won't go anymore. Isn't that enough? Get lost. Fong Ping scolded. You think I don't know you? Will you be able to hold it in? This wasn't the first time you gambled on your luck. You were full of confidence and felt that you were invincible. Would you be afraid of others scheming against you? But in reality, you are nothing. When you reach peak rank 8, can you resist the temptation? Many level 9 experts were extremely confident when they stepped into the quintessence Tao. The few catacombs origin path I've met, when they were rank 9, thought that a true king was nothing much. They thought that they were invincible, that they could break the sky with one punch. But in the end, they all hesitated, and they all died. Fong Ping cursed for a while before saying solemnly, there really is a passageway on Earth. Furthermore, it was still unknown where it would lead to. Whether it was the catacombs or not, it was very troublesome. A hidden old antique was hiding in the human world, the kind that could still come out from the looks of it. This kind of old antique doesn't know good and evil, the most troublesome. I must inform old Zhang about this. Fong Ping's considerations were much more than Qin Fengqing's. This fellow only knew how to become stronger, but he did not think about what would happen if the other party came out. Qin Fengqing saw that Fong Ping was deeply worried and said gloomily, Fong Ping, this is not the first time the passageway has appeared. Maybe it has existed since ancient times. You think that others are a threat. Others might think that we are occupying their territory. If the passageway has really existed for countless years, then the surface was also their territory back then. They haven't come out for so many years. Do you need to be so worried now? What do you know? Fong Ping scolded. No matter whose territory Earth was back then, it's ours now. Do you understand? These fellows didn't appear when humans were in danger, didn't stand up to help. Then I don't care if they live or die. Right now, they are a threat. Just like the catacombs' two kings, the true king in the catacombs simply wants to get rid of the two kings. Although we won't go that far, since they don't care if Earth lives or dies. Then don't even think about returning to Earth now. Fong Ping continued. The 8 major realms are still on the surface, after all. I'm afraid that some of Star Town's top powerhouses are also from these places. They're all contributing. That's why even though old Zhang is furious, he didn't really lay a hand on the realms. These old antiques on the surface probably had the same idea when they sent people out back then. But those in the dark, no matter who they are all enemies. Although Zhang Tao was dissatisfied with the territories, he did not hate them to the point of insanity. Needless to say, a part of Stellar Sky City's top experts came from there. That was their sincerity. Perhaps it was not shown to future generations, but more or less they had contributed. Those in the dark, then there was no humanity to speak of at all. Quokang Mountain did not contribute before, but Old Cat coming out this time could be considered to have contributed. Why did Old Zhang choose Quokang Mountain as his first target? It was most likely because no one had appeared at Quokang Mountain before. Gong Zhuanzi had to thank Old Cat for giving up later. Otherwise, during the battle in Magic City previously, Old Zhang would definitely break the territories and force this guy out. I'll inform Old Zhang later and ask him to come back and think of a way. You have to settle this as soon as possible. This is the top priority. Fong Ping was more nervous about this than he was about the king's battleground. A direct passageway to Earth. No one knew that it could pass through. Just this point alone, he had to find out the truth. If old Zhang knew, he probably would not sit still. Someone had dug a hole and was hiding right under his nose. It would be strange if he didn't find the culprit. Qin Fengqing said sheepishly, up to you. But once old Zhang comes out, the other party might hide completely. Fong Ping, if that's the case, then I might not be able to go in. How about this? I'll go in first and you guys can look. Do you want money more than your life? Fong Ping scolded. Must you seek death? Sigh. Qin Fengqing sighed. There was no other way. Back then, he said that he could surpass them when he reached rank 7. In the end, when he reached rank 7, he realized that rank 7 was nothing. It was useless to go on like this. Now, he could only take the risk. Danger. It was not like he did not know. This kind of place was definitely dangerous. It was normal to not be able to come out after going in. But if he did not try, how would he know? He was only rank 7 anyway. It did not matter if he had more or less. If he really died in there, then it was nothing. It proved that the other party did have evil intentions. When the email was sent, they could go and look for him again. Fong Ping ignored him. A crystal chip appeared in his hand. Old Zhang had cut a little bit of mentality on it. Once it was broken, Old Zhang could sense it and rush back quickly. Qin Fengqing saw that and sighed again. All right, this time his preparation was for nothing. He sighed. When Fong Ping broke the crystal chip, he scolded, "Short-sighted fellow. How much can you take if you go in? Is it for your own good, or is it better to just take it all? If this fellow has bad intentions, let old Zhang and the others join forces to take him. Not only will the things be ours, even his origin and Tao, even his bones will be mine." Fong Ping was incomparably savage. Sino Nation had already been reserved by him. It was his territory. Now that someone dared to dig a hole in Sino Nation's territory, he would kill him. Everyone listened with their mouths agape. "You're amazing." This fellow had always treated these opportunities like this, taking them all. Now he was preparing to take the nest. Chapter 860. Just as Fong Ping summoned old Zhang back, the catacombs. Destiny City. Ji Yao stood in the middle of an enormous palace, looking up at Ji Hong. She was looking at Ji Hong with her head tilted up. Ji Hong sat on his throne, his voice loud and emotionless. "Do you really have the ability to support the royal court?" "I don't know," Ji Yao said slowly. "The royal ancestor and father are still in the royal court. They can teach me." Ji Hong was silent for a moment. "You want to join the Heavenly Lion Battalion?" Yao wants to go out and gain some experience, participate in more battles, and make more friends. Ji Yao said loudly, "I don't have enough prestige right now, but if I can gain some achievements at the border and gain the recognition of some true kings, I will inherit the position of Lord of the Ji family." "The border is very chaotic," Ji Hong said solemnly. "The demons of the myriad demon royal court are unruly and often violate the borders. There are demons guarding the royal court. Some greater demons think that they are traitors and often attack the royal court. Over there, once you die in battle, not even your bones will be left. Those demons will eat you alive." Ji Yao had never left the Ji family's protection. The first time she had left Destiny City was at the royal court's battlefield. She had been at peak rank 6 then and was ready to ascend. That was why she had taken the risk. Ji Hong thought that it hadn't been that long. Now his daughter wanted to go to the border and participate in the war against the myriad demon royal court. Hundreds of thousands of martial artists participated in the royal court's battles. There were countless powerhouses. The myriad demon royal court had the largest territory and countless powerhouses. Demons often led troops into the war. Some of the true monarchs might even take action. This was not the Outland. The true king reborn had stopped them in the Outland. That was why there was a rule that true kings could not participate. This was not happening. True kings were invincible powerhouses. They would not be restricted by others. They were just a bunch of ants. It was up to the true king whether to kill them or not. There had been cases of true kings slaughtering large numbers of martial artists. Ji Yao said solemnly, "Millions of royal court soldiers are fighting at the border. If they dare, I won't back down. I felt a lot during the 7 Southern Regions battle." Ji Yao's emotions fluctuated as she said, "I see the faith of the revived martial artists who dare to face death. I saw 2 quasi-true kings reach the true king realm in 1 step. I even saw the true king of God Continent and the god generals of God Continent. They didn't dare to die, but in the end, they died a tragic death. The more you fear death, the more you will die." True monarchs and divine generals are all lofty existences, But it's also because of this that they've long since forgotten how they got stronger through cultivation. Ji Yao said coldly. That's why Yao won't repeat the same mistake. Rather than dying like this in the future, why not give it your all now? Take King Li Zhu, for example. Making friends with a group of like-minded people in the army. At least, when you go out to battle one day, you will have comrades. No one will stab you in the back. Ji Yao was straightforward. She raised her head and said loudly, back then, King Li Zhu went to war against the Nether King. Both his left and right generals died. Father, this is what Yao wants to do. A king lord had subdued two experts of the same cultivation level, the most powerful experts of all, for the great cause of the royal court. He was willing to fight to the death. Even though that battle ended in tragedy, even today, the right general is still protecting King Li Zhu. Yao wants to become a king lord like him too. Ji Hong's expression changed when he heard this. As the princess of Heaven Fate royal court, Ji Yao was the daughter of the king lord, the daughter of Ji Hong, the daughter of a true monarch. The Ji family controlled Heaven Fate royal court and was famous everywhere. But now, his daughter worshipped the king lord of another royal court. To Ji Hong, this was tantamount to saying that he was a failure as a king lord. Ji Hong mocked himself and smiled faintly. Li Zhu? Yao some people are different. Li Zhu could only do this. That was his fate. Li Zhu started from nothing, and he had to fight. If he didn't, he would have died a long time ago. But my Ji family is different. We have two true monarchs. You, the king lord, are the strongest in the royal court. Ji Hong shook his head. Fate is different, so the process is different. And the result was different as well. Now that I'm a true monarch, of the three divine generals, one is dead, one is crippled, and one is injured. Yao, the Ji family, doesn't need to learn from Li Zhu. Ji Yao lowered her head and said in a complicated tone, Father, is the Ji family really that strong? Ji Hong subconsciously wanted to scold her. But in the next moment he stopped. Ji Yao didn't raise her head. She bowed and said, Yes, the King Lord is the strongest. But compared to Heavenly King Zhen, King Wu, King Qian, and the myriad Demon King, how does the King Lord compare? King Ancestor, can you really sweep away the troubles of the world alone? Father, I've always thought that since the Ji family is so powerful, why should I work hard? Why should I cultivate and become a monarch, an emperor? 2 years ago, I never thought that I would one day become the King Lord. I have a true monarch realm grandfather, a king lord father, a divine Tao realm uncle, and countless divine generals of the Ji family. Do I still need to work hard for such a powerful Ji family? Do I still need Yao to become the next king lord? Ji Yao shook her head and said in a complicated tone, Back then, I never thought that this day would come. But now I understand. Father, sometimes you can only rely on yourself for some things. Ji Hong frowned. Ji Yao continued. Also, Fong Ping said that the king lord of Li Zhu wasn't crippled. Instead, he became stronger. Father, the reason why the king lord of Li Zhu hid himself is because he has great ambitions. The Ji family wants to unify the God continent. Can the king lord and father really do it? Ji Hong frowned. Even though Li Zhu hid himself, he was indeed a divine general 10 years ago and not a true monarch. In such a short time, even if he became a true monarch, his strength is still limited. Father, Ji Yao interrupted Ji Hong. That might not be the case. How long has it been since King Wu and King of Hell became true monarchs? However, they have been able to kill a true king with ease. King Wu is so powerful that even the King Lord, can he really take down King Wu? Ji Yao said something very disrespectful. During the battle that day, she was escaping and didn't see the true monarchs fight. But after that, she knew everything. King Wu was the first to fight. He fought the myriad Demon King and the King Lord alone. If King Wu was only powerful, it would be fine. The royal court could fight him. But King Wu wasn't powerful alone. What was more powerful was that he could make the resurrected true monarch fight with him to the death. King Wu was like that. He was the leader of the land of rebirth. Li Zhu was the same. Ji Yao thought of the mystic jade true monarch's death. The sky plant's royal court's true monarch was ordered by Li Zhu. And in the battle in the north region, many true monarchs attacked and killed 2 true monarchs from the land of rebirth. Who was the leader? Ji Hong and the rest didn't know. Or rather, they didn't want to admit it. They didn't think it was Li Zhu. But Ji Yao felt that it was very likely that it was the sickly Li Zhu. This was the real King Lord. This was a powerhouse who could control his own fate. Perhaps they might not be as powerful as the King Lord, but they could control their own lives. They could do what they wanted. They had the support of others who were willing to die for them. This was why Ji Yao felt they were powerful. As for her father and her King Lord, could they really let the true monarchs die for the Ji family? Ji Yao had mixed feelings. Ji Hong was silent for a while. After a while, he sighed. In just a few years, you've changed so much that I can't recognize you. Never mind, chaos is coming. Maybe this is your fate. Go. Bring Jinan with you to the Heavenly Lion Army. I want to go alone, Ji Yao said. With Uncle King around, I'm afraid I won't have a chance to fight. If I really die at the border, King Lord, just pretend that I don't have a daughter like Yao. Ji Hong was speechless for a while. After a while, he said, up to you. Then, Yao shall leave. Ji Yao bowed. After thinking for a while, she said, when the king's battleground opens, Yao would like to participate if I have the chance. The 2 kings have revived, and everyone is making their moves. Even if Yao can't see everything clearly, I want to enter the game and learn from these true powerhouses. Ji Hong looked at her deeply. True powerhouses? Was his daughter saying that he wasn't a true powerhouse? This was his daughter? Why did she look so unfamiliar? Ji Hong mocked himself in his heart. It seemed like his daughter looked down on him. After a long while, Ji Hong waved his hand and said, go first. Okay, I'll go to the border now. Ji Yao did not delay and left the hall in the blink of an eye. After she left, a figure appeared in the hall. Fate King frowned slightly as he watched his granddaughter leave. After a long while, he said, Yao has changed a lot. I don't know if it's good or bad. Father, Ji Hong called out softly and said in a low voice, now, King Wu is powerful. Li Zhu is in hibernation. King Qian is enduring. Myriad Goblin King and Heavenly Goblin King are in hiding. Should we? He wanted to ask if his father was too ostentatious. Now, the only powerhouse who was active in the open was Fate King. The matter of the king's battleground was also led by his father. This might not be a good thing. Fate King said in a low voice, I know what you want to say. However, I have no choice. Among the 4 palace masters, I became a true king the latest. King Qian and the others were all true kings in the early years. Some of them even participated in the war against the demon emperor. Hundreds of years ago, the palace master of the majestic court died. I also became the palace master of the true king palace by chance. However, no one knew how the palace master died back then. Someone is playing a game of chess, a very big game of chess. As for me, I might be their chess piece. Why did King Wu fight? Why did he attack so frequently? Because he was also a chess piece. However, he wanted to jump out of this game of chess. Father is the same. Fate King's eyes were deep as he looked into the distance. He said in a faint voice, therefore, the only thing I can do is fight. If they want to use me as a chess piece, they have to see if they are qualified. After I kill the 2 kings, perhaps they will be my chess pieces. After cultivating to the realm of Fate King, he would not be stupid. It was not that he did not know some things. He just followed the flow. King Feng had been active in Imperial Sea Mountain all these years. Why? He was fighting too. If he did not fight, he might not be able to take the second path. In the end, those true kings who did not fight in the catacombs might become abandoned instead of chess pieces. Ji Hong's tone was complicated. He was also a little upset. Father, who is the leader of this game of chess? Who? Fate King chuckled. Many people. The Demon Emperor might be the biggest chess player. This includes some powerhouses from the Land of Rebirth. Those from the Land of Rebirth, as well as the 2 kings, the Demon Emperor King Qian. These people might all be chess players. They might have been from the beginning, or they might have joined halfway. If you play chess, then I play chess too. After thousands of years, it has become very complicated now. Fate King shook his head. Not only them, he was also planning. As he said that, he said, there are also the demons, guarding the majestic court all these years. It seems like they are showing weakness by contributing to both sides. However, is that really the case? Do you know what these demons are thinking? There were many powerhouses among these guarding demons. Most of the rank 9 in the outer territory were demon powerhouses. The celestial demon king, who guarded the majestic court, was also extremely mysterious. He rarely appeared. Legend had it that during the battle where the demon emperor attacked, the celestial demon king had already achieved true king level. Would such a demon king do something that harmed others without benefiting itself? What was it thinking by sending a large number of demons into the too majestic court? No one knew. Fate King's emotions fluctuated. He quickly said, don't worry about this. Since Yaoer wants to go to the military to train, let her go. When she comes back from the military and has merits, you can abdicate. Okay. Ji Hong did not hesitate. Now that King 100 Mountain was dead, there was much less resistance in the majestic court. However, with King 100 Mountain's death, his father would probably be under a lot of pressure. At this moment, Ji Hong could not help but ask, Father, why did Heavenly King Garrison kill King 100 Mountain that day? All these years, Heavenly King Garrison would only kill someone who wanted to enter the first grotto heaven. At other times, he mainly used intimidation and did not take the initiative to kill a true king. Fate King hesitated for a moment and said slowly, maybe he is buying time. It might be related to the king battlefield. After killing King 100 Mountain, I will be questioned by the other true kings. In the short term, the king battlefield matter will not be able to proceed smoothly. He might be giving the two kings more time. Ji Hong's expression changed. Buying time for the two kings? Why? Fate King's eyes were deep. He said indifferently, might know the two kings. Who can say for sure about these things? These people have lived for generations. There is me and you in me. Their relationship is very complicated. Fate King shook his head. Among the current top-notch experts, excluding the few new top-notch experts in the Land of Rebirth, he was actually the most inexperienced. He attained Tao after the Demon Emperor attacked 1,000 years ago. Many humans and demons had attained Tao 1,000 years ago. In the God continent, it was hard to say if there were any true kings who had participated in the king battlefield battle. Many true kings were extremely mysterious. Although it was known that they were true kings, one might not know when they attained Tao. Forget about the true kings of the same generation. Those who were not true kings had never seen them, or those who knew them were all dead. When they suddenly appeared midway and joined the true king hall, one would not know where they came from or what their past was. God continent was huge. The big ones could hide at will, and one would not be able to find them. There was also the existence of the Forbidden Sea and some secret places. Fate King thought about these things and suddenly murmured, this is the only time I want to truly get rid of all these. The king battlefield. It was very important. Heavenly King Jun seemed to want to delay his footsteps. Why? You want to delay? But not a martial king. Fate King suddenly laughed. Perhaps he could try. At the same time, in a secret place, Zhang Tao frowned and cursed softly. This kid had only been here for a few days, and he was already in trouble. He was looking for him now? Beside him, Li Jun looked at him and asked, what's wrong? Fong Ping is looking for me for something urgent. Li Jun was speechless and said helplessly, just a few days, right? Didn't I give him the secret art to comprehend before he left? He should be able to immerse himself in it for a few months, right? Listening to what he said, the secret art was given to Fong Ping to let that guy rest for a few days. Not far away, Warlord chuckled and said, maybe your secret art is too simple, and he learned it in a few days. That's right, after all, you guys have only reached the peak for a few years. Zhang Tao stood up and said with a smile, Senior, since you think our secret art is not good, why don't you be generous and leave us a secret art too, so that this kid can immerse himself in it and rest for a while? Warlord chuckled and said, "You can't learn mine. It's too complicated." Zhang Tao despised him in his heart. Who would believe him? "You guys continue here. I'll go back and take a look," Zhang Tao said, "Try to get it done quickly. Once the king battlefield ends, the catacomb's true king will probably continue to be active. We don't have much time." Everyone agreed. Zhang Tao did not say anything else. With a move of his body, he disappeared without a trace. Seeing that, Warlord sighed and said, "This guy, he's really getting stronger. He has to admit that he's getting old. Breaking space, locating the passageway. I think one day he'll be able to break space directly and appear in the catacombs at any time." Li Jun heard that and thought for a while. Patriarch Jiang, are the catacombs and Earth really one? If Zhang Tao can really break space, can he tear the barrier between the two worlds? Warlord chuckled and said, "I don't know about that, but it's very possible. I remember that guy from the evil sect said that with blood sacrifice, using the life force of billions of people as the energy source, he might be able to break this barrier." Who is the Grand Pope, really? Li Jun was going crazy. Since the patriarchs have come into contact with him, did they really not discover his identity? Warlord pondered for a while and said, "It's hard to tell, but he's not weak. I can't be sure with just a glance. Years ago, he came from Mount Royal Sea and persuaded us to sacrifice all lives, break the barrier, and get rid of the shackles of guarding Mount Royal Sea. This guy is quite eloquent. According to him, as long as we sacrifice billions of people, we don't have to care about Mount Royal Sea anymore. From now on, we can go anywhere in the world." Li Jun took a deep breath and said, "So, the Grand Pope isn't the patriarchs?" The patriarch he mentioned was not Warlord. Warlord knew what he meant and said with a smile, "It shouldn't be that old geezer from your family. That old geezer tricked us into guarding Mount Royal Sea. If he wanted us to give up, he would have just let us guard it. He made it so troublesome, guarding it and not guarding it at the same time unless he's a psychopath. Doesn't Patriarch Jiang have any clues at all?" Li Jun said in a low voice, "If we don't ferret this guy out, he'll be a disaster sooner or later." "Actually, you don't have to worry too much," Warlord said with a smile. "His goal is to break the barrier between the two worlds in advance. That was 100 years ago, and there weren't many passageways open back then, so he had the idea. But now, it's about to be completely opened, and there's not much use for him to show up now. It's only a matter of time. Can he wait for a year or two?" The Pope's goal was to break the barrier between the two worlds in advance, so that true kings could come and go at will. Of course, that was not the main goal. Warlord said again, "That guy probably wanted to trigger a war in advance, maybe solve some mysteries, or simply let the seed of rebirth appear in advance. But he failed. All these years, he didn't care much about the evil sect, or else it wouldn't have been so easy to destroy it." The seed of rebirth again, Li Jun snorted. He hated this thing now, afraid to hear its name. Everything stemmed from this. Warlord was too lazy to say anything else. After so many years, he was tired of hearing about the seed of rebirth. McMao. The space fluctuated slightly, and the next moment, Zhang Tao's figure appeared in the sky above MCMAU. Zhang Tao exhaled. It was not easy for him. Breaking space and traveling through space was still a little difficult for him. However, he cultivated the Emperor path and could vaguely locate the human powerhouse's aura. That was how he caught a trace of aura and rushed here. If it were someone else, it might not be possible. Even someone as strong as the subduing Heavenly King might not be able to do it. Once lost in the darkness, there might be no way to get out. It's good if there are more powerhouses in Sino Nation. Zhang Tao laughed suddenly. He wanted to lock on to the aura. Without a rank 9, it was almost impossible to sense. If there were more powerhouses, if there were rank 9s everywhere, maybe he could really teleport. As he was thinking, Zhang Tao's expression changed. The next moment, he appeared in Fong Ping's Grandmaster Tower. Fong Ping, who was waiting, was surprised to see old Zhang suddenly appear. "Minister, don't tell me you're hiding in MCMAU? You've appeared in 23 seconds. This speed was unparalleled. Did he not say that he was not in Sino Nation anymore? But wasn't this too fast? Zhang Tao could not be bothered with him. He said quickly, "Have you learned the ultimate technique? I left you 810,000 energy combinations that might be suitable for you. Logically speaking, you should still be trying to figure them out. How did you get out of closed-door cultivation so soon?" Fong Ping was stunned. "How many?" Luckily, he did not look. Fong Ping suddenly felt lucky. Old Zhang was trying to trick him. Luckily, he was smart enough to look at Li Zhen's ultimate technique first. Otherwise, 810,000. Fong Ping shuddered. He was going to trap himself to death. Old Zhang's heart was really evil. Fong Ping did not waste any more time. He quickly told him what had happened. Zhang Tao frowned. He said quickly, "It's not too surprising. There are some powerhouses hiding on Earth. I've guessed it before, but they're hidden very well. Plus, those useless old fellows in Star Town don't know how to do this. They only know how to make a big shell to hide. I've never thought about how to crack it. Now it seems that there are some unexpected gains." He was not too worried about this. Although these people were annoying, they would not appear in the near future. However, these fellows had special methods. He did not really understand these methods from the ancient martial arts period or the sex period, so he could not crack it. The elders in Star Town only knew how to make some barriers to protect Star Town. They could not do this. He did not have any experience to learn from. Now it was great. He had actually discovered one. Old Zhang suddenly laughed. "Good news! Maybe we can catch him alive. Motherf asterisk Kerr, there's finally some progress. This time, we'll think of a way to catch this old tortoise and get rid of him. Good news!" As soon as he said this, Wang Jinyang and the others looked at him and Fong Ping strangely. "The two of you really did not discuss this beforehand?" Old Zhang really did not eavesdrop. They would not believe it even if he said it. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.